comedian, all these things.
So when we got the tickets, that's what was. You see it
It's
like in one of the fees. Like
it's
the breakdown.
yes. Well, not even necessarily. It's more a bill cost that's a part of the bill of however it's sold, like a
service fee.
Yeah. So but it is a part of the cost, and that's something that we're paying. Whereas if you buy a ticket to a venue almost anywhere else, it's not a part of the economy for that to be built into the tax.
It's only for Nevada.
Yeah, and I need to pull it up. I can probably do this during this conversation of how much it is again, but look.
I'm really tired of being charged for every little thing.
The ticket crisis is a thing, man.
Yeah, I'm really tired. Like, what are my taxes doing at this point?
But we feel it here differently because we want to attend, and we just know that our ticket isn't the regular price, isn't like a regular date ticket anymore.
So I just gotta accept it. Okay, are you gonna charge me?
Fam.
It was $160. Now it's $230.
That's great. Like that's crazy. Like that's a significant difference. It's just really unfair. I don't like that.
But I did secure my Chris Brown Breezy Bowl.
Yay. Some woman, like, was she tweeting about it? I don't know. She was saying, like, she was debating with her conscience if she wanted to, like, go to the meet and greet.
Wait, I was going to say, you wait a second, because I just had a, thank you. Let me clarify really quick. Wait a second. We are talking about Christopher, whatever his middle name.
I was about to say Anna Maurice.
I think it is Christopher Maurice.
I shouldn't know that.
I'm the only one that didn't know his middle name.
There's no way I should know that.
Y'all built her out because she came in strong with Maurice.
I think I remember that because yeah.
You know his government.
That's funny as ever. Welcome to it, gang.
Me, I was in the minority.
I already said it about 3 times. I shouldn't have known it. I shouldn't have known that. I'm actually, I can't.
Breezy, man, that's him.
I can't take it back. I shouldn't have known that. But anyway,
it's okay. We don't judge.
Breezy and LeBron.
We might
the only ones.
I don't even know Brown's middle name. I couldn't tell you.
Oh yeah, hold on.
I couldn't tell you. Does anybody know
his first name is LeBron? So that's already something.
So don't do that.
The kids' names.
Don't you worry.
If it was a multiple choice question and I had 4 options, I might could pick the right one. But I don't know what it is.
I know what it is now.
You remember?
Wait, y'all not gonna guess.
I know it. I know 1,000% what it is now.
I'll give you right now. Look it up.
Nah, I know what it is.
You give me a letter, I might can get it.
Wait, we're talking about LeBron, right?
Yeah. Should I give him?
Y'all not gonna guess it.
So I'm gonna give you. So I should give you 3 choices. All right, bet. So I'm gonna give you.
I'm not even gonna look at you. I'm just listening.
All right.
I'm not gonna guess.
Latrell.
Nope.
Not Latrell.
Why would you say no? I know what it is already. I'm giving him 3 to guess from. What the hell are you doing?
I'm sorry.
So now I gotta start over again. Shit.
Latrell.
Damn.
You gonna put the answer A down.
Now I'm trying to figure it out.
What is his middle name? You can go ahead and tell me.
Yeah, because you kind of fucked it up. Because now
how did I fuck it up? Go to the other 2.
No, I was just about to say.
I fucked off one.
Because I feel like, because I low key still wanted to say an L, and I was like, if I say an L, I feel like he knows it's not an L. But anyway, I'm gonna go. All right, so let's go. Dwayne, Raymond, Robert. LeBron Raymond James Sr.
I was a millionaire. Who wants to be a millionaire? Do they still have that, man? If we lost,
we can bring it back.
If we lost, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
That was my show. I watched on my
grandma. Rough times if we don't got
The Price is Right is still a thing. So
Price is Right is still Jeopardy still.
I don't know if Smarter Than Fifth Graders still.
They got to hang up.
They had hard questions.
They low key
Fifth grade was
they had hard questions. I was like, bro,
I didn't learn
whatever.
Nah, I
was like, you're not gonna make me feel slow. This is advanced.
That was like the 10%. That was maybe the 5%ers. Yeah.
Yeah, like what? They were asking some deep shit. I was like, I don't know what you're talking about, bro.
That wasn't the median 5th grader.
It wasn't
on that show back in the day.
My high school didn't prepare me for life, let alone my elementary school. So I mean,
shout out to Amber.
Oh, I'm sorry. My high school teacher did, so that sucks.
Nah, I have certain teachers that did what they could. Like you guys were actually talking about like skipping grades earlier, and I feel like I skipped a couple. So elementary school, I feel like I was uninterested to begin with. Like, so I feel like I did. Like first and second grade. Third grade was when I really kind of like had like I had a real shake up and I was like, okay, what is this shit? And I was like, all right, what is going on here?
It's not that
Long division was hard for me. I'm just gonna put that out there. When I was in third
Have
grade,
you seen what they're doing now? Yeah, bro. Anyway,
They start throwing the hook on the number. You said, wait, hold on.
you got it.
they got new math.
The way we teach, it's new math. No,
I don't
it's
like-
the same math, just multiple steps to prove a problem. So you know how you have one answer? No, they want you to do it in 2 to 4 steps.
So let me go ahead and intro the pod real quick. We kind of got it started already. I'm gonna try to figure out what zone I'm in to start. Episode 71 of the ODP. What up, host? See what I got.
Come on, put your hands together. Hey, hey, yes, I am. Let's go. I'm so glad. Hey, yes, I am. So I don't last always. Can I get a witness? I'm so glad. Yeah. They're scared to come outside.
Episode 71.
Right? Ain't nobody safe. Put it in their face. Yeah. They're scared to come outside. Niggas know it's having 9 days.
Rest in peace, Mo 3.
Yeah. Tell it hurts, it ain't no mercy, that's just how we made it.
I hate starting pods like this.
I told God he gotta forgive me, I'm insane, no. I know. Tired of the rain on my name.
I know I'm God's sound, swiftful God. And talking
This is the last one.
I done overcame some of the obstacles came from up on the subar rocks and shit. Even though I be out here scheming like a demon scheming. It's gotta be
Episode
God.
71 of the OD podcast.
I'm God sent, like he sent me so I can relay these messages. Like he used me as a vessel, like he used me as an instrument. Trying to lock me in a box, they hate how God to keep on blessing me. They locked me in the box, I pray to God, this ain't my destiny. I don't drink no lean, I'm sipping no holy water like this my medicine. I'm a living testimony, every album like the testament. Everything I went through made me who I am, so he be testing me. So I'm breaking bread with all my fam, cause I don't take no essence. I done sacrificed my nickel, none of my niggas can see the best in me. They want me slinging metal like the devil, but I'm heaven sent. My brother, my mother, man, Alice for my dad, cause he neglected me. I'm 20 years old, but I act like I've been here before, like I'm a veteran. He speak this shit through me like I'm a prophet, but I'm a reverend. With my blood, sweat, and tears and all these years, cause this my exodus. I'm down so I can live, so I can live, I resurrected it. I'm down so I can live, so I can live, I resurrected it. Hey, blood in my eyes, I'm going blind, oh. Stuck in these streets, feel like my life froze. I've been running these streets, got me dehydrated. I've been living so crazy, feel like I'm dying, baby. Blood in my eyes, I'm going blind, oh.
I'm about to stop it right now, I promise you.
Feel like my life froze. I've been running these streets, got me dehydrated. I've been living so crazy, feel like I'm dying, baby. I just shot a nigga, now I can't sleep.
Welcome to it. Episode 71 of the OD podcast. I am your host, Terrell, ASAP Relly Graham, whatever you guys know me as. In the building, you guys already seen him on camera. Daryl D. Hoop Harris is in the building. Who, as always, you guys know, behind the camera, Caprice is behind the camera. I was trying to get your attention during the intro. I said you hit the camera, so it's off base now. Can you go ahead and move that back for me? Just move it to the left. I'll tell you when. Keep moving. No, the other way.
So you're left.
I'm gonna have to. No, that's not what I meant. Don't worry about it. Give me 2 seconds so I can go ahead and finish this intro of the pod. Give me a second.
Nah, man, I'll jump right in there for you. Don't worry about it. Yeah, because there's a special guest off cam as well. I won't throw too much attention her way, but yes, I just found myself. I was like, am I a little nervous? And I was like, oh, we've never potted together. She's been asking me to pod forever. So off cam, shout out to Whitney as well in the building.
I had to rearrange the camera, but Whitney is in the building. Chiming in for now off camera. We'll see where the conversation leads. Hoop is right over there, so we can go ahead and hand her a mic if need be. But yeah, man, episode 71 of the ODP, episode 71 of the OD podcast. Let's get right to it, man. Let's get right to it. I woke up to some unfortunate news. I'm pretty sure the rest of the sports world as well woke up to some pretty unfortunate news. At 24 years old, former LSU wide receiver Kyron Lacy was found dead in Houston. First of all, rest in peace to Kyron Lacy. The human first. I say that all the time. Not really sure what else can be said at this present moment in regards to that. And still somehow, some way, people have found other things to talk about. But I have some things to get to, some personal things that I've said on the radio show that I will get to. But obviously, the initial news of the passing of Kyron Lacy, I'm pretty sure you got the news the same way that I got the news. Hoop.
I was definitely taking Stark out this morning, and I saw it first from an account that is a recognizable account, but it wasn't the account where you believe it to be 100% fact.
I think I know exactly.
And I said, hold on, nah. And that's the time we live in, where you got to double, triple check things.
Yeah, I was just talking about this. Can't even see nothing without having to triple check it.
And right, top of the trending. So I'm like, oh, what? This is kind of crazy, and I kind of hadn't thought about, bro, in a minute. And I forgot how recent it was that I didn't really make a correlation immediately. Without even clicking on anything. And then I was just like, oh, I think when I was telling you is when I kind of was like, oh no, is this what just happened right now? Yeah. Is this what's going on? This is unexpected.
I actually started the pod. First of all, for anybody out there that may listen to this pod on a consistent basis, and you guys may feel like I may have started a pod. I know I started a pod with that Kodak record before, and I'm pretty sure I started a pod with Bobby and Mo3's record. That I just kind of said during the intro that I'm tired of starting the pod this way. The same way that I woke up to this news, I remember was the same way that I woke up to the Juice WRLD news. I'm trying to remember who else. It was one other person that I woke up to the exact same news, kind of similar. I was actually up for Takeoff.
I might have been. I was kind of up for that too.
I don't even remember
what
what happened.
Mac was. We might have been in the same class.
I was in a barbershop when Mac passed.
Okay, I was in the class with.
I had just left the class. I know that much.
Literally walked back in. Yo, are we for real right now? But no, I
was in the newsroom when Kobe ended.
This one is different, man. Yeah, there's a lesson in everything. Not to sort of wrap this up because I don't want to know the particulars beyond what I know so far.
Yeah,
There
personally,
weren't a lot. It wasn't very.
And yes, it goes. Things go a certain. The stories and the reporting on things go a certain way after things kind of happen in this fashion. And if there's anything to take away from this, is that for sure it sucks that maybe something that just could have went really, really, really differently isn't an option here because of a moment that maybe just nobody wants to prepare for.
Yeah.
But if you are prepared for a crap hits the fan moment, like
what to do,
the scope of what happens afterward is drastically different.
First of all, couldn't have said it better myself.
Mm-hmm.
Which leads me to the fact that I'm happy that you said that because now I don't have to.
Yeah, try and jump on it a little bit.
So that said, in this field, you say a lot of things a lot of times where you have to stand on it. And for instance, I just came out recently, and I think we had the conversation on your pod a little bit. I came out randomly the past couple of months rather, and apologized to LeVar Ball. And I was like, you know what? When you look up, he was right.
man.
So no matter what you said over time, myself included, even if you wouldn't have done it the same way, the man was right. So I say that to say, again, I love my field. I wouldn't shy away from it in the slightest. But there are things out on record, right? And I'm not gonna say the outlet because you were actually kind of just alluding to it a second ago. I feel like any post, tweet, whatever the case may be, that is announcing Kyron's passing, I think the mention of that accident is gross. I'm not saying that the accident can't be brought up, but there's a time and a place to do it. So, that being said, I want to talk about two instances that I've been on this platform. Well, not this platform specifically, but the radio show. And we've discussed car accidents that have claimed lives.
Mhm.
And let's start with Henry Ruggs.
It ain't personal.
So let's start with Henry Ruggs for a second. I remember when the Henry Ruggs situation happened, and everybody, I actually was the person that kept making the distinction. He didn't take a life. As a dog lover, he took 2 lives. There were 2 heartbeats in that car. I also understand the speeding aspect. I also understand the drinking aspect in the Henry Ruggs case. An added case that you learn is the Raiders have people that are designated to pick guys up in moments like that.
Shout
So
out. That needs to be emphasized.
I didn't find that out until after the accident. I don't think the world found
I
out
found
until
that
after the
out
accident.
12 seconds ago.
So all of those things considered, I said Henry needs to be away for the amount of time that it would take for it to be an example, right? I heard a lot of people say life, and I was like, respectfully, what does that prove?
Right.
Now 3 people died in the accident. Great.
You sentence them to death.
That's essentially what you're doing. So now it doesn't matter, right? So I wasn't a proponent of that. I said if you give him 20, he's what, 40 something? Okay. So let's say you give him 45, or excuse me, 25. And I believe he was 22 when he went in.
Second year in the league.
He would have been 47 years old when he got out. Career's done.
Yeah.
Career's kaput, right?
NFL, yeah, see you later.
I've always been in the field and in the thinking of Henry should never drive a vehicle again. Driver's license is kaput. Career is clearly kaput. If he gets out at 47 years old, who better to listen to if I'm a young kid in college who has the world in his hands than somebody like a Henry Ruggs?
And going to schools, going to colleges, and having that conversation. I am the face of, hey, one night, one decision can cost you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious where you're going.
You ready?
Because I already know where about he's at in terms of his sentence.
He's at a halfway house already.
And has been.
Yeah.
That is actually a few blocks away from the stadium.
And that's just irony, I feel like.
I know.
Real convenient.
But in terms of what that means to where he's at in the stage of his sentencing, they almost did everybody way more of a favor than they could have imagined, because he could have been the example that you could feel like you threw it all away. And guess what? He might get a chance to play again. I know this is a couple chapters still down the road from where we're at, but that example could have been to even somebody who, again, never hopes to be in this situation. Yeah. But if it happens that your life still, you are going to feel it. You're going to learn this. Yes, kiss everything. Yes, kiss the current and goodbye, and think about it for a while. But it's not the end of your life.
Yeah.
And I hate to be that guy, but you kind of just hit the nail right on the head, right? Now, a lesson learned is a lesson learned. Now, if Henry gets out and Henry learned his lesson, I'm still not a proponent of Henry playing in the NFL again. Obviously, his age may lend to it, but
right.
This is the
It could be
NFL
how
that we're
far
talking
do we?
about.
Yeah, right. How far do we go with redemption?
The NFL is the NFL.
Mhm.
Who
Right.
wants that? Like,
This isn't-
hey, we took him back and he's playing on our field.
This is the NFL. I can name 12 teams right now.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
they
I don't
don't
know how far to
care.
take this conversation.
That's my point.
Yeah.
We don't have to talk about that, but I'm using that case for a reason, right?
Precedents.
So let me move on to a second case, because there's a reason why I'm building these cases. Since you guys want to bring up the negligent homicide in memorial
This conversation
post.
is fair. This conversation is valid.
Again, like I said before, I'm not even feeling like bringing up the accident that is associated with Kyron is wrong. I just feel like people that are memorializing the kid, and I shouldn't say kid, he's 24, memorializing the young man, and then also accompanying that with it as if that's a damn identifier. It shouldn't be.
It's a lot going on. Right.
So let's bring up the second case. Let's bring up the case of Zayon Collins here in Vegas. Because I just brought it up recently, and before anybody can say anything to me,
oh man,
I just went off on a rant recently because in doing my prepping for college basketball, I was looking at the Fresno State roster and I looked at the bottom of it and I said, I'd be damned.
Oh, right. You mean way back, not recently.
No, this season.
Right. That's what I mean.
Oh, but at the start of the season. Yeah, at the start of the season.
Right.
And I looked at the roster and I said, I'd be damned. I said, Zayon is playing at Fresno State.
Right.
And again, this is why I started with the records that I started with. I'm not here to say that I'm holier than thou. I'm not here to sit here and endorse the judicial system. My point in doing that is, my point in playing the records that I played is we've all done something. We've all had to answer for that something. Myself included, there have been times that privilege has kept me out of something. Now, the funny thing is, people may look at it and say, well, what privilege are you talking about? It could be a couple different things here in privilege.
Be anything. 100%. Let's not take everything for granted.
You know what? This ain't even a getting in trouble point, right? But I remember the Future show at the time in St. Mac.
Mm-hmm.
We were semi near the front. It was me and two people. Caprice, you were actually one of them. Shout out to Dez. Dez was the other. Dez should be coming in after this pod to record hers. We were at the show, right? Show finishes. I turn around and I realize that there are two women with me. And I said, you know what? I'm not walking through that damn crowd. I don't even like crowds. So I could imagine what the hell they don't want to deal with. I realize I'm at the Thomas and Mack. The stage is right next to where the Rebels run out. I know this building like the back of my hand.
Yeah, you know you got your whereabouts for sure.
You know this building like the back of your hand.
Yeah, that's an emergency proof building.
I locked eyes with somebody. They locked eyes with me. Gave me the. Oh, I was out. I might have been out before he was out. Privilege. A small ounce of just privilege. When people was like, "Oh, that Future show was so crowded," I didn't really experience that. Privilege, just a small ounce of it. So to go back to the Zayon point, let's acknowledge the speeding. Let's acknowledge the residential area. Let's acknowledge the man he killed. If I recall correctly, Zayon may have done 60 of a 90-day sentence.
Nevada has wowed me in terms of some of what the sentencing is for deadly crashes.
I'm not one of those guys to where, again, I'm not going to sit here and say
that's black and white.
and say send this man away for I'm not even going to say 15 years. I'm not even that guy.
What does it mean, right?
What if you sentence him to 10, he does 4, he still gets out and can play? What if he does 3? Like I said on the radio show, you know it can't be done. 60 days. And the way that I view it, let's talk about Henry Ruggs. Let's talk about Zion. If it was you out there speeding, they wouldn't have gave you 60. If it was me out there drinking, I work with the Raiders. If it was me out there speeding, drinking, and I took a life, let alone 2 lives, I wouldn't be at a halfway house right now. There's no way in hell.
Right.
So, the Zion point, he was able to hoop the following year.
Just about.
And the funny thing is,
yeah, right. This isn't the yes. His resume and his transcripts didn't really stop. He didn't go to UNLV right away.
Not much stopped. And the interesting thing was, TJ Otzelberger was here, and maybe it wasn't the year after it happened, but TJ Otzelberger was here when Zion was being recruited, right? When he actually committed. And I remember specifically as somebody who covers the team, with all due respect, this is my job. I'm looking at the situation and I'm thinking, how long before UNLV snatches that why am I blanking? That scholarship. I'm sitting there and I'm looking and I'm like,
this ain't gonna fly.
And then it sits. And then it sits. And then I sit there and I'm like, TJ's gonna keep him. TJ's gonna play him. And then the city started to react the way it reacted, and TJ ended up releasing the kid, right? Here's my only point when I bring that up. I just said there's nothing wrong with him playing again. And this is where I feel like life just needs to hit certain people. I'm not saying that this company is where it essentially needs to be. But for anybody that's handled a negotiation out there, sometimes you fumble the negotiation. It happens. Mm-hmm. That particular entity may not want to do business with you.
You don't get that specific one back.
Doesn't mean that you can't go do business elsewhere.
Right.
There has to be a consequence for it. Now, let's talk about the Kyren Lacy point. If you guys want to identify specifics, and this is just me identifying specifics, not saying it was right, just doing the same thing that I did with the Henry Ruggs case, and now I'm going to I did with the Zion case, and now I'm going to do with the Kyren Lacy case. Let's identify the speeding. Let's identify being negligent. Respectfully to the person, rest in peace to the person that passed. Do we have that name? Cabrice, do you have that report up? I think you had it up earlier. If you have his name, let's get his the name of the person that passed. Rest in peace to that person who did pass in that accident. Respectfully speaking, based on everything I've read, Kyren wasn't in the accident. He may have caused the accident.
Yeah.
He wasn't in it.
Trying to avoid a collision.
Right. That he was getting ready to commit. Right. So, again, not saying it's right by any means, but let's identify the situation.
I got you. Apology.
So, just from that standpoint alone, let's talk about the way that Kyren was handled after that. Immediately after that. One of the things that I saw, and most people saw even today, which I thought was kind of weird, the celebration against USC.
Talking about the taunting or the
hand gestures. The hand gestures. I'm not saying this because of the news that we got today, especially after what I said about the John Morant point, which I stand on. So I didn't understand then what it meant to show that USC clip. I don't understand now what it means to show that USC clip. What began to happen, people began to condemn Kyren as a human after that accident. I'm not here to say what is the cause and effect of anything, but that was the first thing that I noticed. And even today, in his passing, we see it again.
What's the instant imagery or just
Told you guys I was gonna vent. Sorry.
residual elements around a person's name that drives the consensus popular opinion about a person. Subliminally, intentionally, it doesn't really matter because it happens in certain scenarios and others it doesn't, but it happens immediately. And there's like a line drawn in the sand of how to properly react to this. And I this is going to be a national story for a long time as well, but the whole Carmelo Anthony situation as well is one where, okay, immediately it's presented in one of two ways. And that one, there's more of a divide, but I hear you on, all right, Lacey, an opinion is cast upon him before you get a chance to learn 3 things about this person, because the first 2, okay, well, that's all I need to know. But that's what's being presented to you. It does not speak to his 23, 24 years of life entirely. That's unfortunate, man. That's deep, but I hear you. And it sucks because things can't just be, again, right. This is a real life scenario.
You can shine light on just how to prevent these type of things, and also when the things happen, what can you do, how to go about it so it doesn't lead to this, just
is the main thing. Because right now the infinite sort of options that who knew when Henry Ruggs happened a week later, who knew what 3 years from now would look like.
Yeah.
When Collins happened, who knew a week later what 3 years will look like. So now none of that is even on the table anymore in this scenario. Again, because of maybe just and
the correct help, the guidance, loved ones around you
that
who
sucks.
could have intervened, or because we don't know his mindset, where he was
And
at
this,
that
oh
time.
man, and look, we shouldn't run from this when everybody's been talking about White Lotus for all week long. When I don't know if y'all watch or not, but in terms of wanting to tiptoe around the conversation that is depicted and critically acclaimed, and that being self-harm, that being topic of suicide, in White Lotus, you already know what it's about if you've seen any of the recent episodes and stuff.
And mental health has been huge and is
you see that
rising from adolescents to adults to
it's really what's at risk, what's at stake. And dang, that Tim and that case study is interesting, because as much as he felt like his world that it maybe was falling apart and wanted to do something, he like sort of changed his mind, because still it's a lot of other lives at stake, and you just wish there was help for the boy band. And not to juvenilize him, that's not a word, I'm sure, but like you said, this is a young man,
right,
but
who could have been scared in that moment, and
There is no could have been.
Yeah.
He 100% is scared.
I've never been in that.
Feels vilified already, I'm sure.
Imagine.
Well, yeah, for sure. But I was just thinking, just from the standpoint of,
what do I even do?
I'm trying to think about a moment that we've done. Honestly,
that element, we shouldn't rob him from deserving some sympathy in this moment. That shouldn't be robbed. I also don't know. I don't want to take it too far to make it too, because I don't necessarily stand on all of this. But in just talking about all of it, a lot needs to be said versus what maybe is being said.
But we all drive. We all have our license. There's been some close calls where we've been like, oh, that was close. Like, oh, okay. Ooh,
well, for sure.
Down. Let me. I didn't have to use my blinker. Oh, this person just shot out in front of me. I'm gonna honk my horn. And just everyday life, where those near experiences where that could have went left.
And I'm just thinking from the standpoint of like any moment that we've been scared, right? Like, so sometimes you see something you're not supposed to see and you drive away. I'm with you. I've never been in anything like this.
I will.
But I've been in
mind my business like the best of them.
But I've been in plenty of situations that I've seen and been like, let me skedaddle and get out of here.
Right.
Now, but I will also say, and this is why I started the record too, in terms of those being holier than thou, we may not have been in this situation, right? But we may have contributed to a situation that also resulted in somebody's death.
Yeah.
I'll tell you guys on a smaller scale, completely smaller scale. We talked about dogs earlier. When Ace passed, God bless the dead, right? When Ace passed, Ace was diabetic. And most of my family and friends was like, your dog could be diabetic. I was like, who knew, right? Like you can do it. And I remember when I initially moved out here, I was in a relationship. Most of you guys know the story. When me and her broke up, I was in the house and I ended up tearing my Achilles. So I remember specifically, like vividly, sitting on the couch, whatever I was eating,
Ace was eating.
he got it. My dad told me some stories and was like, well, he was a shepherd, and shepherd or labs, labs have bad eyes because Ace ended up going blind. Well, labs have bad eyes. I appreciate what you're doing. I didn't help matters none. So for everybody that was like, well, why would he run? Why would he run? Why would he run? Think about it. Anytime you fucked up and you've run.
I've shared this in a different sense, but even from any sort of parental guy, if anything happens whether it was under your watch provision, not, you can't help but consider what your influence on it could have preempted.
Right. What you could have did differently.
And that's a complete hypothetical.
So, and people are acting like also that he knew immediately that somebody died. No, he knew immediately somebody got into an accident.
Yeah, how would he?
That's what he knew.
So let me just say the guy's name.
You got the person's name.
Yeah, we've been talking about it. Herman Hall.
Rest in peace to Herman Hall.
Thibodeau. I think that's how you say Thibodeau. Rest in peace. He was 78 and a former Marine. So rest in peace to him and prayers to that family. Just a very sad situation all around. But yeah, I just wanted to mention his name.
Absolutely tragic.
And former Marine.
Thank you for your service. Thank you for everything. Herman Hall Thibodeau is what you said, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Rest in peace once again. Again, like I said before, I'm not saying that it was right, and there are some people who feel like when people pass, like your stories about them have to go with them, and I'm not necessarily a believer of that. I feel like your story is your story as long as you have that story. I just think there's a time and place to do it. You guys know, I listen to the Joe Budden pod, so one thing that he said that always stuck out to me is he. In terms of saying something, he said he follows tries to follow 3 rules. Doesn't need to be said. Maybe. Doesn't need to be said by me. Maybe. Doesn't need to be said right now. Hopefully we can all agree at the present moment that we can all agree that third one strikes it out. Therefore, none of it should be said at the present moment.
Right. I agree. And I think people also need to point out too, a lot of us have done stupid things when we were young, and all of us in this room are just lucky nothing ever happened to where we landed in jail. Yeah. I've done stupid shit driving when I was 18, 19, 20, 21. Oh, yeah. So I think people get lucky every day. Do you text and drive? Are you on the phone and driving? You're lucky that all those times you looked down on your phone for those 2 seconds that nothing ever happened. So people are quick to say, oh, he deserved it or whatever people were saying. I haven't seen everything, but
count your blessings.
It just count your blessings that wasn't you, number one. And number two, my personal opinion, it wasn't a malicious act because I have a certain strong stance about drunk drivers because you see all these stories about drunk drivers killing families, babies, kids, and then they always live and they get 5-10 years. And then, it's like we just I personally feel like we need serious charges in that regard. But in this case, probably was speeding. Probably breaking a rule on the road that he wasn't supposed to, but this was not the deserved ending. It's very sad that he was so overwhelmed with guilt that he felt like he had to take his life. I don't think people are.
It appears. Let's say it appears. Nobody knows the reason, but I'm with
allegedly,
you.
Yeah, allegedly. I'm assuming this is something that had impact on why he did what he did. But people who are so quick to say, oh, he deserves this or he whatever. Does this make you feel better? Does this seem like the answer? That happened, and now he possibly may have felt like this was his only way out. It's very sad, and like you said, things could have been differently. Maybe he could have got whatever consequences are proper, and maybe warn people about the consequences, what could happen. He might have felt like he didn't have anybody to talk to, but the bottom line is everybody who feels so strongly about what they would have done and what think about the things you do every day behind the wheel. Be lucky that time you bent down to get your phone, you didn't swerve. That time you going in your wallet, shuffling, yeah, breaking on the phone, all type of stuff. You're lucky that was never you. And obviously, he fled because he probably scared, like anybody, any young person or any person would be. But he turned himself in, and like I said, obviously, the whole situation was traumatic. So I think people just need to be more aware that it could be you. It could be your family member. It could be, what would you tell your little cousin?
But also what to do. Because it's
right.
Not in the
I agree.
driving book. It's not on the test.
Right.
If you get in an accident, what is the first thing
you do?
If you cut somebody off and they spin out, what do that's not something that is taught. There's no emphasis on it. There is no, you got a car, you're 15, you want your permit, cool, no problem.
Right, just get your license, get your insurance, and that's it. I agree.
With other topics that are so big, but something as simple as this,
yeah,
it's not spoken about.
Yeah, I agree. I think if people, I agree. I think if people did more talking about it, like you said, and being just more just very open about what the real possibilities are. This show that I watch, and this officer was going into classes showing the cause and effects of drunk driving. She was going around high school seniors, and I mean, she was showing graphic images, but she was like, this is the real. You get blitzed, you get drunk, you get too gone. This is what could happen.
UNLV had something like that.
Yeah,
UNLV had one that it was like actually like a
that's
setup.
something that should be.
It wasn't pictures. It was like a mock accident.
Well,
so we had to go cover it as like the newspaper. I walked outside. I was scared shitless. I was like, dog, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
Because in the moment, I was like, is that a student or is that like? What did y'all bring outside?
Even if you Google impact videos, like a car speeding at 40 miles an hour, you see the damage of like 40 miles
that you have to take.
Word.
My last thing on it, and it sort of makes a triangle on the point, was we had the two examples of that we discussed of Ruggs. Who knows when it might be out, when it might sort of, punishment phase might wrap up. Collins, where the punishment phase sort of got wrapped up. The other one's Jalen Carter.
Yeah.
Who I wish the Raiders drafted instead of Tyree Wilson. A couple years back.
My man.
Jalen Carter was the next pick to Philadelphia. And
everybody still was questioning that pick. And
crash happened in the same time frame as this Lacey one between the college championship and the draft. Carter, in this case, was literally, it might have been on the way back to Georgia as well.
Rashee Rice got into an accident on the freeway, did he not?
Oh yeah, thankfully, I think there were no lives lost.
This is my only point.
All right, Carter,
and I'm gonna make sure that the camera stays off me real quick because I'm gonna bleep it. But I find it interesting that people want to pick and choose who they talk about because nobody says a.
Why? What did he do?
We don't have to talk about it at this present moment. I just bleeped the name for a reason. But we'll get to it after the show if we need to. But people pick and choose who they want to talk to because they didn't say a thing to that person, right? Also,
watch your mouth. Long story, all of what you just said. Watch your mouth. You just told everybody. just watch your mouth. Just watch what you say about people. Like, watch out.
People, like I said before, I bleeped the name because the person, and if you guys actually like follow just podcasting, the person talked about it recently. And talked about
what you're talking about. So this is interesting.
And talked about just again mental health and mental stability, right? So I'll let you, I'll fill you guys in on it after the pod. After the pod. But really quick, I seen a little bit of news while we're talking about the NFL really quick. I seen a couple of stories break recently about athletes and domestic violence in the NFL. First of all, it's not new, unfortunately. And I came to a realization, not even a realization, but I came to just a succinct point this past week while I was building this podcast list. A lot of people can't come to grips with the fact that their favorite athlete is a loser.
For sure. Or celebrity.
That's it.
Yeah.
Money don't change who these niggas are. Not even a little bit.
Not as athletes, you mean?
What?
I was gonna say, yeah, independent of them as an athlete.
Yeah, regardless of how great they are on the field, whether they suck on the field, whether they don't. First of all, even if a player sucks on the field, like I say all the time, that's an elite club to be a part of. They'll go to any YMCA, any spring league, and tear y'all up. Like that, they're great at what they do. A lot of these people are shitty humans. That's what I mean. Bottom line. So I don't have a specific name to get to, but sometimes we see things and we hear names. These people are just shitty people. And the quicker that y'all come to that realization and realize that the NFL is still going to employ them, now we can figure out how to attack the situation at a different angle.
Yeah, there's too many to talk about. For the amount of time we got here amongst each other to spend.
We could break down the mess.
We're getting to some happy shit in a second. I
know.
First hour was on this bullshit. We're not doing that.
No, we said because out of the songs you played, you set the tone from the beginning as well. We ain't gonna lose sight.
We getting it out the way now.
I'm just I'm really just tired of just domestic abuse. Just women beating on women, men beating on women, men beating on men. I'm so tired of it. Beating on children. Go get a therapist. Go to the fucking gym. That shit is just so low to me. To beat somebody who is clearly either they're weaker than you physically or mentally or both, and either way you are able to physically take advantage of them. Yeah.
And you know that.
And that's why you do what you do. And it's just so weak. And I wish the NBA, NFL, I wish they would have harsher rules against that. I mean,
I know the help is there.
Yeah.
They have,
you have so many resources.
Here on the flight, I can have all this, my ice bath, all the
Right. You get all the other stuff. Mm-hmm. They're quick to call a tech or charge you for $50,000 saying fuck. Right. But, gestures. You put a handgun up, that's an issue. But
before the game's over,
right. You can choke your girl out and there's no problem. It's okay. Just do better. Like, I just wonder what the conversation is behind doors.
I left the camera on there too long. That was I looked down at my phone. I'm looking at the next topic. That's my fault. So I have this one thing to play really quick, and I think it's going to be a perfect wrap up to everything that we were saying. Like I said before, I'm not condoning anything that any of those accidents or just the actions behind the accidents. But I came across this video recently, and I thought it was pretty powerful. And I'm just going to play the video in its entirety really quick. So this is a grandmother speaking with her 15-year-old grandson who is facing a murder charge.
It's how you, and then you want to pray, if you get a second chance, how you going to turn this here around, okay? So your life ain't over. You just need a second chance. So that's what you need to dwell on and pray about. A second chance. And sit down and think about how you going to make this happen. And obey your parents. And come home on time. Come home. Number one, streets don't love you. We love you, not the streets. You see where the streets get you? Could you give me a hug, baby? I'm sorry you got to go through this. But all you had to do was listen to your parents. Okay? Okay? I don't know how things gonna turn out for you. I ain't got no idea how nothing's gonna turn out. No idea at all. I don't know nothing this second. I told y'all don't tell me nothing. Didn't I tell you that? Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, baby. So I'm so sorry you got to go through what you're going through. But if God help you out of this, please get yourself together, baby. And it's gonna take a miracle. It's gonna take a miracle that we don't have. You can turn me loose now.
Can you do white voice for the rest of the interview?
So y'all heard that. I just feel like that's the perfect way to kind of wrap everything up. I thought the way she handled it was everything. She led with love. She was empathetic. I think she also expressed the lessons that needed to be learned. I think it was also important that she didn't promise him anything.
It also wasn't over. There was.
Yeah, and she also reinforced that it wasn't over for him.
It's like that. It reminded me of that dying of thirst. You know,
Absolutely,
from Good Kid, Mad City.
absolutely.
You know?
And a lot of times, like I damn near teared up while listening to it. A lot of times, you don't realize that type of love until you don't have it no more. So I always say this, but you can always just tell by the way people are raised, by the way that they handle people. So we can move on. I would say into some happier stuff, but I don't know if this movie is going to be happy. Have y'all heard about him?
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Yes.
I've seen just enough, and the fact that Peele, it looks like it's entering the sports film realm is what I'm most interested
right
to
now.
see depicted.
But I was connecting it to Magazine Man.
Thank you. Perfect timing. Thank you.
I was connecting it to Magazine.
You can talk into the mic.
Have you heard of Magazine Man with Jonathan Majors as kind of
yeah.
going into the bodybuilding industry in a certain time?
That Ryan Coogler also, or no?
No, it was something completely different. But
him is Peele, not Coogler, correct? Maybe
Coogler just did Sinners with Michael B.
Yeah, but you're right on the Jordan Peele point. Jordan Peele is doing him. But Capri said she didn't know what it was, and I want to read the exact.
And I saw just enough to not want to know more, and just can't, and maybe that much more excited to see it.
So I haven't seen anything.
I have to now, probably.
No. And like a huge movie person, reading reviews, but already what I saw, I was like, okay, no more,
No spoilers.
It's very
really
good. But
you wait, hold on, time out. Now I'm confused. Did you guys see like a trailer, or did you guys see?
I read.
Okay, all right.
But I'm such.
All right. I was nervous.
So the visuals are already.
I saw a little video. I saw 30 seconds.
But the top.
So I haven't seen anything yet.
Is and just everything going on.
So what it is, Caprice, the premise. And again, I'm on Wikipedia, so I'll let you guys know if it's not what it is, right? But not even in the slightest.
Y'all pay them they 99 cents.
Not even in the slightest. Have you ever paid Wikipedia?
Never.
I don't know where they're
somebody else got it. Hey, look, if y'all got this far, y'all don't need me.
Well, actually, I think you paid to be able to edit. So I think that's why they make them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If Wikipedia is paying me, it's a different conversation.
Yeah, then I'll go edit whatever you need me to. Word. Now it's a factual word.
Are y'all?
So it's a promising. So the movie is based around a promising young up and coming football player. He's invited to train. He's invited to train at the isolated compound of a dynasty team's aging quarterback. The legendary, almost retired quarterback takes his protege on a blood-chilling journey into the inner sanctum of fame, power, and the pursuit of excellence at any cost.
Mm-hmm. So he's gonna give him everything he wants at a cost.
I want to have the most ignorant conversation right now. So let's have the real one. You guys keep looking at me, and I'm gonna get real.
You saying what's the real?
We can get real ignorant. So
I'm here for it.
Let's just do it. So you guys know that Jordan Peele is known for right, and just not even that, but the
thought-provoking material.
Yeah,
okay.
Where you going? Where you going with it? Where you going with it?
I was just seeing if anybody was going because I'm so far left with my ignorance. You guys have no idea where I'm taking this.
Say it.
The fact that he takes our favorite records and he slows them down. The moment I saw him, I was like, what's the record? And I haven't left that point since I seen the poster.
I might have heard a jingle on it too. Right?
So that brings
because that doom doom.
Yeah, no, dead ass, right? No, whatever he did with I Got 5 on it is still terrifying. So it still scares the hell out of me.
Yeah.
It's already a creepy song, I feel like, to begin with, and you didn't make it creepy.
Like, I never knew it was that creepy.
Right. So I want to just play with the idea of some records, right? With that being said, let's look at some of the records that we started with.
Yeah. They scared to come outside.
I might leave the theater right there.
Yeah, hey, this will be perfect to a urban Michael Myers movie.
To the
So I'm just sitting here thinking, right? But we also just played Kodak Testimony, right? I wonder how that would sound slowed down. Let's see what it sounds like. Let me see.
I'm God sent. I know I'm
Let
God.
me get to the rest.
Thoughts, I pray to God, this ain't my destiny. I don't drink no lean, I'm sipping no holy water like this my medicine. I'm living testimony every album like the testament.
That brought me to this ignorant ass conversation. Y'all want to go ahead and try to pinpoint what record he might use? Because if it's a football movie, I'm sitting here trying to think what can we pull from.
You would probably do something, you know.
I can't even think.
I know. I'm like,
This is.
Either.
I didn't go to one either.
No, I'm thinking like some Ludacris or something. Like
What
Yeah,
Ludacris?
that-
or something like.
It wouldn't fit the movie. I thought about. I don't know. We got to figure out somebody to enter this.
Like, oh man, and that synopsis that you read of just what the film might get into opens the door for it to be about a lot.
yes.
Or for that one night, or whatever the story is, for a lot to happen in that one night or
But you
story.
know it's not going to be.
He's going to talk about something that could be real.
It's not just gonna
Right.
be
That's why I think it's
picture
gonna be interesting.
perfect. Oh, I came
No,
from the
yeah.
hood. I made it. My family.
It's going to
great.
depict something that isn't too far from reality.
But
So-
the truth, the ugliness behind it,
Which is
the rawness.
which is why I think whatever the lesson is in this is gonna be obviously the part that we're just like because again, like we all kind of just agreed on, there's several ways to tie it up. So whichever way he ties it up is gonna be the interesting part. I'm still over here scrolling through my Rolodex because I just want to have fun with this. But you just said it a second ago.
It is having something familiar.
When I shut up, it's my turn to settle down. My main concern.
Now I'm worried.
I don't know, man. You guys tell me. But that was the first thing that I thought about when I seen that movie.
It could be plenty of Kendrick.
I started to go to about 7 other things, so I was like, let me leave it where it is. But I'm excited for the movie. I think the only movie that he had that didn't do it for me was Us.
I know, because I was about to
That's
have. I was
what-
going
I
to have a Jordan Peele conversation if we had.
didn't
to
work.
also because
Didn't work for me.
Nope was just.
No, Nope was fine. I liked Nope.
you got Nope ahead of Us.
You have Nope ahead of us.
It's a personal preference, so I will admit that.
Okay.
How many
if
times
you
did
guys sit
watch Us?
twice and I can't do it a third.
That wasn't enough then.
Yeah, see, that's a problem for me.
Every time you watch it, it's like layers being peeled back.
I think too.
See, I don't like his name now. It's too much. I shouldn't have to do that.
Yeah,
I don't want to do that.
Layers.
I don't want to have not every. I don't want to do that.
Intentional.
I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that all the time. I just don't. That's just me being honest.
You saw Ma?
I did.
Ma's at the bottom, but Ma I think wasn't that bad.
The premise was fire. The premise was fire.
A Nope fan.
You weren't?
I wasn't.
Do you like anything sci-fi-ish? Because I'm not a sci-fi fan, but
I am.
part of me is cool with Nope not being understood because I think it's about something that we can't understand.
So we haven't seen it.
So it's a little box inside a box inside a box, like
But
you
those
know,
are his movies.
right? It's like Little Boy Who Called Wolf. Are we crazy? Who's to tell you you're crazy for something that you claim you saw and I couldn't tell you that you didn't see it.
I wasn't too mad.
You sound crazy.
You like Get Out.
You sound crazy
for sure.
But if you,
I feel like Get Out, even as I feel like for us,
Get Out's
just
at the
as
bar.
black people, like I
Get
feel
Out,
like
shook
for
it up.
well, bigger than that, I feel like Get Out is probably the simplest to understand for us,
Yes.
but it's probably at the top in terms of impact and everything else for what it stood for, at least in my opinion. I don't think the funny thing is I went and saw that in theaters twice to test the theory, just to make sure I wasn't fucking losing it.
Get Out.
Yes, Get Out.
Oh yeah, and I watched it at home. I can tell you times I've seen that movie.
Well, I've seen it about 12 times. Yeah,
But
it's
every time it's still something you can take from it. Or I missed that the first 12 times, like the first 9 times, but it was. And I don't think the world was ready for it. And I think for us who were ready for it, like finally,
That Gambino song did the trick too. Just while we're on the
Absolutely.
topic. Yeah.
Absolutely. That's what I'm trying to figure out what the next one could be. Like,
Shout out Childish.
but in that movie, I went to the theaters. I made it a point to go to theaters twice because that collective gasp at the end when we saw the red and blue lights, I had to go to the theater the second time because I was like, that had to be like an anomaly, right? Went to the theater the second time and was like, how many black people are in? All right, this is enough. We can figure it out. Couldn't wait to that part of the movie. Everybody gasped again. And I was like, this is why it's important for white people to come to this theater and be uncomfortable. Because I know the first time it was one particular white couple. As soon as we all gasped, they looked around. No, nigga, the screen. That's what we worried about. It's over. He's gone. The red and blue light is over. It's right him up. It's over. But they were so confused with why we were gasping.
Yeah.
Because once you see the lights, it don't matter the story, dog. It's over. It's
Done.
over.
Never know that feeling.
No, they've never.
That pit at the bottom of your stomach.
Oh,
And
my
my
Lord. It's like a
taxes
roller
pay-
coaster, dog. You be like, oh my God.
Our taxes pay for that, and I gotta be scared of y'all. Yeah, crazy.
Horrific when you think about it.
Similarly, I feel like Us, it wasn't until the last scene of the movie
you
where
realized.
you had to question what you thought prior to that point, and you're left wondering, okay, wait, did y'all
Is
get?
that,
Are y'all
that's
thinking
the
what
whole
I'm?
time.
Whoa!
Did y'all ever watch Old?
Yes.
Okay.
That was crazy.
So I never finished Old. I don't feel like. I don't think I've ever finished it. No, I'm gonna tell you why. I don't think I ever finished it because it gave me vibes of Us, and I left Us feeling confused, and I seen Old head in that direction and was like, nope, not gonna get me.
I can see how you can get that, but I think it went somewhere completely different and another uncomfortable.
I'm trying to understand Us.
Oh,
I still don't get the shit. I don't.
that's a whole separate pod.
I'm convinced that I'm wrong about everything about it. Like I think like I love movies like this.
But Old was crazy. That was, I don't even know how. I mean, that movie can be again unpacked. Like that movie had me. Like
We should just do a movie packing pod.
I didn't even want
a
to
movie
finish
unpacking
it
pod
either because I was like, oh, I'm gonna. Well, death alone is a topic,
right?
And just how they really took that on in this instant aging. Like you think you're on the beach for a few hours,
Word.
you just aged 10 years.
And
then you're watching your kids. Oh, I came with
you finished
my kid, and then I look and
it was a movie.
he's
I
running
thought.
back
Well,
as a teenager.
it is a movie. I didn't know if you finished it.
It is
I
don't know if you watched it. I didn't know. Whatever.
Yeah,
I shouldn't say
but
finished it.
but
I think that movie got the credit it really deserved.
Oh,
No, I don't.
because it was M. Night Shyamalan. That's why. And people didn't want to admit that it was good if that was the case.
I would have been losing my mind if I was 30, then I woke up 40, then I woke up 60. What the fuck is going on?
I can't see all of a sudden.
Yeah, I don't know
We're trying to get
what's
off
going
this.
on.
We're trying. We need to leave, and we can't.
No, I like
can't
that. I like having a different. I like not having the same opinion or not being sure what I think versus what other people think because the creator didn't intend for their. Rarely, and they will almost let you know if there's like, look, I made this for this reason. You're gonna know that before you even probably watch it. That this was the story.
Word.
Let's just see how he did it. But it's meant to be. I want to see it picked apart and debated.
Somebody
and
asked
room for interpretation.
when August Alsina was probably at his peak. I remember he did a Breakfast Club interview, and Angela Yee asked him what a record meant, and he was like, "What do you think it meant?" And she said her like what she thought it like her interpretation. He looked at her, he leaned back, he was like, I like that.
It might mean that now.
Yeah, I didn't think of it like that's what you thought.
That's
My
why
answer is not gonna.
It's
make
applicable.
sense.
Like it works.
And the same with movies.
Does it matter?
I think movies more than music, and people are gonna kill me.
Yeah, okay, but wait, hold on.
With it. And the music video is not going to grasp.
Except for Kendrick.
Oh,
I feel like Kendrick. Some of Kendrick shit, you feel like you can kind of see as it happened. Maybe I just grew up in PTSD.
As for movies, I do not
Shit is
like
trauma.
where the ending is like left up to interpretation. Because the one movie I really got a bone to pick is Inception. Have you guys seen Inception?
I was gonna bring up one.
Okay, so the end, you know how his thing is
I
spinning.
really don't watch movies.
But it just keeps spinning and then it stops. No. I need you to tell me right now if that's reality or if that's a dream. Tell me right now because it didn't stop spinning and I need a real answer.
because you know the answer. You know it.
I feel like it was a dream. Okay.
What was that other movie with?
Almost about to say Interstellar. Hopefully,
not Interstellar's another great one.
That
It
is a
was
great
with,
movie.
I've seen that and not Inception. So yeah, my bad.
someone's son, unknown, it's gonna come to me, his son, and it was like they were traveling backwards in time. It was
Son,
Sisterhood of the
Traveling
Traveling
Pants.
Pants. No,
oh,
just
that's
playing.
a good one. That's a good one.
No, it's not. I've never seen it. Let me stop talking shit.
Denzel Washington, his son, and it was a movie. I'm gonna get
Paula,
the
the
name
one
of
with Paula Patton.
it. I'm gonna look it up, and it was giving Inception
Oh,
vibes. Tenet. Did you guys
Oh, I
see
never.
Tenet?
Wait, but there's another
I never
movie
seen
he has like that though.
But Tenet was on the like right there with Inception.
John David.
Did y'all tell a story or did y'all make me think of something without
But
telling me?
that was a rewatch.
Like, was just the goal? I didn't see it though. I would have to rewatch it. That was. I think that was like the little pandemic finish line, graduation movie or something.
He's like,
I
tell you.
I didn't see it.
Hey man, I can tell you what Coach Carter was up to.
Oh, good.
Weekend had a song on it, right?
I'm thinking of Deja Vu.
You think Deja Vu? Oh, okay. But
That was his daddy. That wasn't even John David. That was
Yeah,
his
I'm thinking about Denzel.
Yeah. But I mean, I can dive into.
That's funny as
I
hell.
love anything time travel related, like Looper, all that. Back to the Future, my shit. Anything time travel related.
Know what
to it.
Looper is.
Looper? Oh God. Okay, let's move on.
I mean, whatever. That's fine. Whatever.
Looper's a really good
I
movie.
told you guys I'm not a movie. First of all, I'm not typically a movie goer unless a handful of things. Unless, first of all, my favorite genre is like horror and thriller. So like I'll show up for that. Like even when a movie is bad. Like honestly, if the movie's bad, I'm rushing to it. Like I'm going for the.
I just need to
Word.
see for myself. I need to know. I just need to know.
I'm going for the
A
experience.
bad scary movie is a 2-for-1. It's
It
a
is.
comedy.
Yeah,
and,
right. Look at
I'm
this
getting,
goofy
like,
shit.
the
Oh.
little goofy scary stuff out the way.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Ooh, knife in my
It's a grip
chest.
up.
Then wait a second.
It's a
Who
grip
is
up.
killing them?
Yeah.
For instance,
y'all are really dying. Like y'all are falling.
for instance, Whitney just said it. I can't remember. I don't think it was this Friday the 13th, but it was the last one. They had Jason packed out. He was on the ground. I said, if y'all don't stump that man, and they let him up. I was like, oh, so whatever happens, y'all deserve that. Like,
That's
bro,
how I feel about the last Scream.
horrific movie. Horrific movie. Like, so the only time I really go to the theaters is when it's one of those, or when it's like a when it's like a blockbuster. So like if they come out with another Transformers today, I'm going. Another Fast, I might not because y'all doing too much.
Final Destination supposed to be another one of those.
There is, but this
I'm gonna watch it
seems
just cause.
interesting though, because
Yeah.
it's the history and
Yeah.
it's tying it all. I love a good tie together.
I love.
You
Yeah, me
just
too.
tied it together with the last one.
Okay,
No,
relax.
but this is like here's the old woman. She's bringing out the family. book.
Yeah, yeah.
She did research. This
I
is
wasn't supposed to
generational.
live.
So now you guys are all, and I don't know. I like that.
Yeah.
That's
No.
like about Jigsaw. Like all the.
You have.
It could have stopped at Chris Rock.
Have you guys ever seen The Collector and The Collection?
It should
Yep,
have.
yep.
But it shouldn't
Okay,
have.
That's a great.
my shit.
But you
Yeah,
had me for every
yeah.
one of those.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
You definitely had me for every one of those.
Which one? I didn't know. You want Final Destination?
Of the Saws, Final
Oh, okay,
kinda
yeah.
Had me too.
Because Final Destination, I'm kind of with Whitney. The thing was, 1 was dope, 2 was dope, 3 most people didn't like. I
Roller
liked
coaster.
3.
Yeah, I was still rocking. With
I
it.
liked 3.
Yeah,
You didn't
I was
care for
rocking.
3.
What? We're talking about Final
Final
Destination.
Destinations.
I still won't drive behind.
I was good up
The law.
until.
There's a lot of things.
There's a couple things I won't do.
Never do.
I'm scared shitless every time I reach in my garbage disposal. I'm like, hey, dog, take the ring off. Hold on, wait. Like, bro, I don't play that game. 4 was weak. 5 was 5 the Final Destination? No, right? It was a 6th one.
It got I eventually watched them all.
Towards the
They had 2 bad ones. The racetrack was a bad one, and I don't remember what the other one was. And then even the Final Destination, it was bad until the end.
Yeah.
Once we saw the end and was like they're headed to a plane. Oh shit, it's the loop. So you already did it.
Yeah,
You already made the connection for us.
they were done after 3.
When I heard that,
This last.
they were coming out with this next one,
But now it's the history,
but that's my point.
and you can go anywhere with that. Like with prequels,
That's
you can jump for and I like how it's going from currently to all the way.
I think what's interesting about that one is I sat here and again, this is probably my favorite series. I'm sitting there.
He's like, let me think about it. Let me.
Nightmare on Elm Street is a motherfucker. My best Creepers.
I love, yeah.
Even the bad ones.
Oh,
Even the bad
yeah.
ones.
Jeepers Creepers for
Yeah,
sure.
y'all can be mad, but even
I
the bad
love
ones.
Jeepers Creepers.
Y'all didn't see
Oh,
Jeepers Creepers 3.
No, for what? I barely saw 2. Like
I love 2.
I think this is when I thank my grandma for traumatizing us as kids because
With certain movies?
a horror fanatic and being
That's a good
terrified,
question
but
in a
also
second,
like
too.
where we're looking through our fingers because we want to know what happens, but where I'm like, these are great. Like,
I'm terrified, but this is great.
What's what? See, my point is,
Oh, I love
going
Child's
back-
Play.
That's another good series. When I was actually going back to the Final Destination point real quick, I remember specifically that when I heard that there was a new one coming out, I was like, don't need it, right? And then I watched the trailer and I was like,
Okay.
they got me. I was like, if there was any way to do it, like they figured out a way. But Whitney just brought up a good point. Movies that traumatize you. I'll start. Oh, you want to start? Do your thing.
The Boogeyman, I still can't have my closet open. Like,
oh, I don't even know if I've seen the Boogeyman, and I still don't play that game.
I don't.
Any black hole, I'm closing.
I tell him, close the door. There's a little crack. Close the door.
I'm not
looking
playing
back at me.
I'm a grown man, and I won't do that. I don't play that game. It and The Ring did it for me. The Ring had me scared of the toilet.
Two
I
for
was
two.
terrified.
2 for 2, literally.
Those are
my
two.
brother did it to me with it. And The Ring, I watched by myself. That was one of the first movies I watched by myself.
That was your mistake.
Man. It was,
my mistake was I watched it like sitting crisscross applesauce in front of my like huge TV in my living room, and the whole living room was behind me. So every time something happened, I was like, you know what? I should probably just get this shit
You
up.
guys cannot play my guy Pennywise like that.
Terrifying.
I took myself to the movies to see the second one, and I was in there just like little
See,
jump, but loved it. Like, oh,
the original Candyman scared the hell out of me.
The original, I saw the new one, loved it. The
new one was good. People shitted on it for no reason.
I don't know.
The new one was
I
good.
thought it was
another
so
good Jordan Peele movie.
I
But I
wasn't
read the
understanding.
book, so for me to see like
that hand was fucked up.
I am a reader. Pet Cemetery. I'm gonna.
His hand started to decay. Hey, but the symbolism behind the artist losing his shit was pretty dope. I don't know.
Crazy.
Again,
I think what traumatized me. Oh, The Exorcist and 13 Ghosts.
Oh yeah.
The Exorcist.
I don't play with possessions.
Yeah. When
in this do rag now.
Insidious.
Yeah.
None of
it's
those.
so scary.
I ain't even got my hair done. I don't know why the hell it's tied up.
What is the? There's one like. Yeah.
Conjuring. I support the Insidious series. I back it. I'm a backer.
Insidious was scary.
Insidious is a good one.
The thing that got me with Insidious that was just very intriguing was the
hunter, the family couple.
No, the what you call it in the movie? Astral projection. How he was like going into different like.
Yeah, in the beginning, right? The portal.
Yeah. That was crazy, and like the spirits finding like a child to take over. I was like, okay, this is crazy. But yeah, and I agree. Now that I'm older, it's a little much for me. As a kid, I wanted to be scared. I thought it was cool, but now, yeah, it's a little scary. I don't.
You ever seen that movie, The Possession? The Possession is underrated.
The Possession, I don't.
The Possession. If I recall that movie correctly,
era of like Netflix only movies from like 2016, 17 through like 2021, maybe that I feel like everybody saw. Like, remember, like there's like an elevator one or The Circle or The 100 or
The Circle. I've seen that. I've seen The Circle.
Like, people have seen. I've
seen the Babadook. I've seen the elevator.
All right, let me throw this one on. See what it was.
For back to Possessions, Annabelle. I walked out the theater.
Annabelle was a
I walked out. I had the popcorn. I was jumping, and when they were going to actually show the devil, I said, my soul, my spirit. I was like, okay, the doll was one thing, but for you to actually, and I'm like, the doll is floating. And I got up. I said,
going back to Daryl's point, when he brought up, actually combining you guys' points, the only movie that I seen properly do the devil right, at least in my mind, where I was like, oh shit, Insidious. I seen that red, and I was like, "Hey, Doug."
Actual scary moment of almost the whole series.
You want to know how old First of all, I was in high school, so I may have been maybe 15 or 16, and my dad had the DVD, right? And my brother had a portable DVD player. My mom did. My brother did overnight security, so he took his with him. So I'm in my room, and I'm like, you know what, Mom? Let me see the portable DVD player. I'm gonna play my game, and I'm gonna watch Insidious. Playing my game.
Hey, the portable DVD there.
I'm aging myself.
That is a real.
Don't do the fold.
That was privilege.
Don't do the little fold part.
That was privilege.
So I'm sick.
I don't want to hear nothing about a laugh.
No, that was privilege.
I don't want to hear about a laugh.
That was. Hey, you had one of those.
We're talking about privilege.
Hey yo, look at
That's
him. He
up there
got
with the game.
Relax. Honestly, I didn't have it. It was hers. So I was like, if I took it to school, I was
The
like,
other kids, they gotta know.
Nah,
Yeah, they
if
gotta
the
know.
GameCube had a screen on it,
it would have been
we
different.
can't talk.
It would have been.
Remember some of them did though. The GameCubes that had the screen.
You gonna make me talk about the Nintendo Switch 2. Let's not do that. I don't know if you've seen that announcement yet, but the Nintendo Switch 2 is coming out, and you can play GameCube games. So I'm about to go find Tony Hawk Underground immediately.
Oh yeah.
But do you see my line on my forehead, y'all? Y'all see this shit?
I did, but
This is nuts,
Yeah, you tight,
yo.
really tight.
Do y'all see this?
And I said back to the movie.
Do y'all see this? It look like I've been wearing a fitty cap. It's crazy.
It's okay.
That's exactly what my head was hurting.
Let him
Damn.
breathe. Let him breathe.
That's why I keep forgetting my points. That's why. Nah, man. But like I said, just scary movies in general. I know that there's a bunch of them. Insidious. I was playing a game, and then like certain things was happening, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to cut this off, and like let me see what this movie is about. First time, it's the only movie that of recent memory had me to that point. I fell asleep. Before I fell asleep, I was kind of like dozing off. Right, I'm watching a movie, and that part where she was in the hallway, and she was like looking through the pictures. And obviously, I'm just like y'all. I'm like something's gonna pop up in a picture. I didn't seen a million horror films.
I'm already like turning my head.
When they going through the pictures, and I'm like, okay, where is it at? Where is it at? Where is it at? The movie was so well done that obviously there was nothing in the picture. So I'm like, oh. And then the moment you let your guard down, I'm right over the picture. Don't worry about it. I'm right behind it. I seen that part, and I was like, yeah, let's close this up. Let me make sure I get myself ready for this 11th grade day tomorrow. Like, bro.
I'm sorry, real quick. What was that movie with the girl on the shoulder? He hit
Shudder. One of the best movies ever written.
Okay,
it's not even more scary. It's a thriller more than anything. It's more like suspense.
Okay.
But Shudder is one of my favorites. If I had to probably say it,
I am like put on a Disney movie after Princess and the Frog.
I know mad people that are like that.
I put on Family
I
Guy.
go to sleep on a good.
See, I feel like Gerald, I feel like Hoop might be the exact same that I am. Like as soon as I watch a scary movie like that, I'll just cut on SportsCenter. I'll figure it out. Once
I don't want another nightmare.
Once I
go right. All right, where was I? Second quarter.
Word.
All right,
once I heard that the Rockies lost 8-1, I don't care anymore.
Put the controller right back up. All right, I'm down 3.
Word. Now I'm.
What demons? No demons.
Word. Now I'm cutting on WrestleMania 89. Like just put it on the stream.
There's some things where I have to certain resets. Yeah, nah.
Yeah, I feel like you have to at a certain point. It's almost protecting yourself. I don't really have like too much to get to. We can get to Dreamville Fest. Shout out to Dreamville Fest.
Crowded, so crowded.
It looked incredibly crowded. You want to say anything else on it? I don't know if you have anything else on it.
Oh, I wish I could have been there, but that crowd, it just makes me remember how much I don't like crowds. But yeah, it looked amazing. It was so packed out. Just to see how far he's come. Like every time I see a big old crowd around Cole, I always think about his old single, "Bitch, I'm About to Blow Up." And it wasn't that big of a song back then, but I love how he manifested that. Like, bitch, I'm about to blow up. I love it because he manifested that for himself, and he came really far. And so many people for so long were like J. Cole haters, still be haters. Oh, he's boring. Whatever. Everybody's favorite rapper is not Lil Durk. No shade.
Oh shit.
But I'm not a fan of the hair.
I'm just saying.
Now. I'm not a fan of it. Hey, you gotta tap into what you need to tap into. I should have worn my shirt. I do have a Dreamville shirt.
Hey.
No, it's an experience for sure. But I'm with you with the crowds.
Although I get to more.
It's happening right now too, and I'm like, it's the crowds.
Mm-hmm.
I went to camp.
So many people.
I'm like, it's the crowds.
So many.
I'm not big on crowds. I can't really.
I'm on the outskirts, and I will watch the screen. I'm not gonna be.
I like to. Yeah, just the feeling of being there is enough. Yeah.
I need to be able to.
I can't be in the middle of people.
Usually working media saves me a little bit. Like I'm usually backstage until a certain set starts, and I'll just kind of like peek out. And then once I'm done, I'll right back in the back. I'm running back in the back. What was I about to say? Oh, there's a whiteboard out there, and I want to explain this game. And we don't have to do it today. As a matter of fact, I would like to get a group of people to discuss this with us. But what we're gonna do, I feel like it's easy to do it. Actually, we're gonna take that list and we're gonna come up with 5 categories. There's a point guard category, there's a shooting guard category, there's a small forward category, there's a power forward category, and there's a center category. We're gonna rank the top, or we're gonna list rather. I guess we could say it's ranking them. We're gonna list the top 5 players at each position, and we're gonna do 5 honorable mentions.
Sounds like my kind of material.
Right? Here's the problem. Majority of the pod is going to be us arguing over the honorable mentions because that's how we're going to make our top 50. That's where the argument is going to stop. Because once the board is filled, we have another argument because now we have to rank them in terms of the 50. So I was sitting here trying to figure out what's the best way to like do a succinct way or a succinct top 50 or top 100 list. And I thought in terms of sports, I was like, well, at least in terms of basketball, we can kind of just use the numbers to our advantage. So we're going to rank the top 5. For instance, let's do shooting guard real quick. Most of us, I'm pretty sure we're going to agree that Jordan is 1.
Oh, ever? Not current? Okay.
No, ever.
Ever, I feel it.
So Jordan is 1.
I feel it.
Kobe's 2.
I think the shooting guard list is
Pretty
probably the most concrete.
Oh, I say you about to scare the shit out of me.
5. Some will disagree, but right. First,
they shouldn't disagree at least until we get to 4. I mean, 5 rather.
Yeah, 4 out of the 5 will be hard to refute.
I think,
and that being okay. Wait, so who do we have at 4? Because we only got
2 left.
Jordan, Kobe, D Wade.
Now D Wade will be 3. I got James at 4.
Okay, agreed. And do we throw?
I got James Harden.
Do we throw Clyde a bone at 5?
I don't.
Okay,
not even a little bit. No, I don't.
So that was where some will disagree, right? If we were going big picture,
you can disagree with Clyde if you want.
Me, James was 5. So the fact that we already no, just at least, but it has to be included.
Who's your 4?
So James definitely has to be included.
Who's your 4? Because your 4 is probably my 5.
I kind of, but I want to. I feel
not
like
if
it's not the same person. I feel like I'm missing who yours might be.
Oh, you are, or you got him ranked somewhere else. Allen Iverson is a 2 guard, dog.
Then it's AI.
AI is number 5, right? And for me, I don't give a damn who they mention. I'm a Reggie Miller stan. You're not mentioning Reggie.
No, you can't really get too many above that list. And then that's what the honorable mentions are.
Now we're gonna fight. They're not honorable mentions.
Because I mean, Havlicek might have to go on there. You feel me? Like if we're
Klay Thompson
in the conversation of the 2 guard spot, put somebody's next to his.
I'm not naming 10 players before Klay Thompson at the 2 guard position. And you know what's funny? The reason why, yes, he may have never led a team or whatever the case may be, Klay is doing the exact same thing in Dallas when everything else is falling apart around him.
That's valid.
That's adding to his case. Yeah. So for me, Klay is moving up the list.
Clyde's on the honorables.
I'm not mad at that. We ain't said the ones that once I start saying these honorable mentions, Vince Carter and Tracy McGrady are 1 and 2 in the honorable mentions. Everybody else got to look up. Brandon Roy, we talking injuries?
Some of this positional, right?
So I'm just saying that's what we're gonna do for a full pod. We need to design that.
Point guard 1 will make people throw hands.
You want to try it?
I can do this diplomatically, so I agree. I think that it's tough to you can't exclude Magic, you can't exclude CP, you can't exclude.
I need you to do it in order. I need you to do it in order so we can argue. Start number 1.
He needs the whiteboard.
If we're gonna do this game now, we're gonna be here another 3 hours.
We can't. Okay. That's why you're trying to stop me.
I'll bring this damn whiteboard in.
Do not get him going.
I'm just saying.
I'm going to say Magic and then Steph right now.
That's exactly what I have. So we're 2 for 2. Give me your number 3.
Now it's difficult because you can't just say Stock and you can't just say CP.
I got my top 4 already,
and it could arguably neither of them.
One of the names that you just said isn't in my top 4.
Should be Isaiah Thomas, and that might be your 3.
That's my number 3.
Exactly. Yeah. And then it gets to, can you really leave off Stock and CP3? And
Stock is my number 4.
That you could at this point, but it's very hard to now leave both of them off. And if you're including Stock, I think you have to include CP in the 5. Because if you let a ringless player into that top 5 because their all-time numbers rank up so high, then Stock doesn't get the credit for the 90s and CP doesn't for the 2000s and 2010s and 20s.
Here's where I'm at.
And we're still missing, but Steph did make that shaky because Steph is in there.
Yeah, Steph is 2. Steph is the second greatest point guard ever behind Magic. And That's just I think it's concrete. At least presently. I'm not so sold on 5. Just in present day, I think obviously CP is probably one of my favorites, if not my favorite.
It's a little tough to do that to kid. It's a little tough.
There's a couple of Steve. You ain't said Steve Nash either.
And Steve, I had Steve's rookie card, man. Like Steve was my for some random reason.
I gotta know where injuries fall in this too, because Penny Hardaway makes my list. He's not top 5, but he's in the honorable mentions. But we haven't mentioned Derrick Rose. We haven't mentioned Russell Westbrook. There's reason why I'm bringing these players up is because Russ is probably the day that he retires. Russ is probably gonna make my top 5.
Yeah.
So once CP got to move. Somebody got to move.
Yes, and he makes it very difficult. He makes people forget like Dwight has a ring.
Facts.
And
we're about to argue centers now.
We could probably do it.
All right, do it. Here we go. Do it.
Okay.
Go.
Hakeem. All right. So this isn't the order yet.
Nope. Do order. We're not playing this game.
I'm beginning the conversation.
You better gather the names in your head then.
Beginning the conversation.
Damn, it's strict.
Cap.
He needs his notebook.
I like that.
It's Kareem.
I like that.
What
Word.
He needs his pen.
We gonna come in with a briefcase when we ready for it. You need a pen to click?
He does.
I'm not gonna be mad if you say
you need a pen to click?
Yes,
I won't be mad if you say Shaq 2. Is Duncan a 4 or a 5?
Duncan's a 4. And he's a top 5 4. Duncan's actually a top 3 4,
He's
but
a top 2, I believe, right?
You how many 4s are you naming better than Duncan? I'm different.
That's why I said top 2, at least.
Duncan's 1 for me, but I'm different.
Right.
But that's just me. Whatever.
No, I agree.
But we are talking centers.
I'm here.
But I'm with you on Cap being number 1. You said Shaq 2. I'm not against it.
You can start saying Shaq as high as 2. I'm sorry, but I'm not going to give Wilt that much credit. I'm not going to throw him much slack. I'm sorry.
I'm not too mad at that if you don't want to do it.
I think that Hakeem is no higher than 3.
It's no higher than 3 is what you just said?
I think it's a little tough to have Hakeem higher than Shaq. I think it's a little tough. I give him the credit that he got for what he did.
You know what? I like the fact that I got this line now because this line like is emphasis on like the steam that's about to come out my head. Like
the line's getting better.
Because again,
it has to. It's
a little different.
Pressure, I hope.
Because it's a little different because those two players can be appreciated and almost glorified in two completely different aspects of how they changed the game or revolutionized the game. So I'm with the arguments of both. And I could hear why
at least the top 3 is what it is. I got Bill in my top 5.
Yeah, there we go. Pardon me. Yeah, Bill is definitely top 5. He's probably 2. He's the 2 that I was missing. Dwight's the first name on the honorable mentions list.
Nikola Jokic is number 5.
Yeah, 100%. Right. Yeah, I tried too hard. 100%, bro.
Yeah. And if we forgot a name, I don't know if you guys have a better resume than Jokic at this present moment. So
if we're doing 4s though, Dirk's on that 4 list.
At the bottom of it.
Timmy's on that 4 list.
He is at the top of it.
How many are ahead of Dirk?
Now this is a personal preference thing. I argue Dirk to my dad all the time, but if I'm making the list, Tim is number 1, Charles Barkley is number 2, Kevin Garnett is number 3, Dirk is number 4. Shit, I can't even think of a 5 at this present moment. But there's my top 4.
Honorable mention to Powell. We can throw Powell.
Powell's in there.
You know,
Powell's in there.
Once we get to this point of okay, who's a
Yeah. You had to be sure. You had to be sure.
Yeah, we got.
But that's about a question. Powell's a 4 or a 5?
Kevin McHale's and things like that. Once you kind of get here.
Once you put everyone out, but we're not going to give.
Oh, you know what? 4s. We're talking AD.
Anthony Davis.
We're talking AD.
And this is where got him to the injury list.
Yeah, AD might be an honorable mention. I'm sure I could find another 4 that's in there. I know I can name another 4 that's in there. I got to be able to.
Yeah, I wouldn't throw him up there.
I just with all due respect to AD,
when you start with Karl Malone, but when you start
Karl Malone,
when you start with
my bad, y'all,
who's on the championship?
Let me redo that list.
Right.
Malone's number 2, but yeah, Karl is right above Barkley. KG is right behind Chuck, and then Dirk is top 5. Dirk
Would
is
you
number
put
5.
Barkley ahead of those because you think that he was just a colder hooper?
Barkley? Yes. Absolutely why.
Mhm.
Barkley is 6'6" and can do everything on the floor, which is probably a problem. And chose the rougher
Got
of
him ahead of KG. If you had, if you were on the board,
who am I picking? KG is who I'm picking all the time because that's just like a personal preference thing. I think KG got on all fours and barked at Jeff T. Like that's the nigga that I want playing for me. that's the nigga that I'm drafting to play for me. But I'm warped a little differently, so that's just.
I just had to throw him for the honorable mention sake because while we're just talking that position, but
we're doing this whole pod now.
Ceiling Blake. Like if you can give me 1 year of somebody,
we do get 5 in an honorable mention, so I'm not mad at you saying Blake, but when it comes time to that pod, you gonna back off that point.
Oh, I know. But if there was a person like in a different conversation where if you could give me this person for 1 season, or if you can give me the 1 season version of a certain player, and let me go point like let's just rank how much would you really how deeply do you feel about certain players 1 seasons? There's like a 2013 Blake Griffin that I just hold very high.
Was that probably the Detroit Pistons 8th when he was the AC on one leg?
No, he was 3rd or 4th in the MVP ballot with the Clippers in 2011 and 2012. Like 2012-13 when they were in the second round against the Warriors, playing in the series that Chris Paul won it against the Spurs. He was like MVP ballot that season.
Oh yeah, that's
just a random, flash, of a season. But
well, we didn't did everything now, so we might as well do the 3. So where we at?
It's tough because this one gets top heavy right away.
I feel that way about 4.
Yeah, it's Bron, it's Bird, it's KD.
Why did my ass forget Bron for a second?
It's Bron, it's Bird, it's KD.
My bad.
It's Kawhi, it's Pippen, it's Melo. Just while we're in the beginning stage, I've already thrown out 6 or 7 people. I'm just saying, so the top 5 conversation.
I just want to know if you said this name and it's going to piss me off if you didn't. Did you say Larry Bird?
Yeah, I said Bron, Bird.
That was gonna confuse me.
Bron, Bird, KD.
I like Bron.
Hey,
I like Bird.
Real talk.
I like Bron. I like Bird at 2.
I'm gonna say it for you.
So if we're
don't worry.
If we're doing everything included, I like KD at 3. KD might slide down that list, and that's probably blasphemous. But
it's annoying how up in the air his spot is based off of what the last 2 years could have been.
He's just based on what I've seen and just the stories I've heard still too. I don't think people talk about Larry Bird enough.
Oh, I'm sure. Right.
Like Larry's going when it comes to ranking, when we get our 5 in each one, Larry's going to be high as hell for me. I might have to argue.
We don't know which position to mention Luka at.
Luka's going to end up being a point guard.
Probably.
Just a big ass point guard.
Yeah, in the Magic vein. I think that there was maybe one other person that I was thinking about, but that small forward position gets tough.
I think the forward. I think point guard and power forward is going to be the hardest.
Of course, you're not cutting Larry. Can't cut KD yet out of the 5. And
I forgot Karl Malone. Damn,
it's kind of
there's a reason for that actually.
Yeah, I would say
kind of tough to ignore Pippen. If we're talking,
Pip is in there. Pip is in there. That's who I forgot earlier. So Pip is after KD. I'll give Pip 4. I can't think of a 5 at the present moment.
I mean, so Melo's probably not cracking it, but Melo is first ballot. He is first ballot.
If I can't think of a 3, then Carmelo Anthony might be the 3. Whitney, what you got?
Whitney was a champion in college. No, I'll throw her some bet. I'll throw her alley-oop. We don't do it, and we're talking all time.
Paul Pierce.
We're talking all time right now. But
what we got?
He's got time to go where Jason Tatum can end up.
Oh, he'll be in there.
He can catch KD. Why are we not giving to him? Is he not a ring away from being on KD's pause?
I don't have an answer.
Like, and it sucks that it's sometimes an afterthought, or it takes the second wave of like, okay, let me keep going. Oh shit, I forgot Tatum.
And
like
I'm over here like, Say it.
Whether it's best Duke players, he doesn't come up if you're talking Duke guys, and I get it. Who performs that, and I get it.
We didn't say Kyrie in honorable mentions. My fault, y'all. Kyrie is top 2 in the honorable mention, so Derrick Rose, somebody got to move.
Yeah, he scoots some people around.
He don't move Derrick Rose, now that I think about it, but he moves somebody.
He moves people.
Somebody got to move.
He makes it shaky for
Kyrie is gonna fuck around and be the reason why Tony Parker don't make the honorable mention list.
Yeah, he makes it shaky for Westbrook, and I
don't know that he makes it before Russ for me. Yeah, point guard and power forward are gonna be bloodbaths. We're gonna be about 7 deep in shooting guards, and we'll be like, okay, now we can talk to Clyde, but. I feel like.
Can you call Clyde? I think we need him.
Yeah, like I feel like for the power forward, we're gonna be about 9 in, and we're gonna be elbowing each other. Like
Manu, maybe at the 2. Yeah, that's a different conversation.
Yeah, it's gonna have to be. We gotta have a full draft board. Like it gotta be a full thing if we're gonna do it. I kind of want to stream it. Just so we can argue with people. I think it'll be fire. We'll see how it goes. I'm pretty sure just when we go back and listen to this, we're gonna be like, "Oh damn, we forgot this name. Oh damn, we forgot this name."
Just home on the drive, like.
Well, I forgot Karl Malone and Pitt, and that alone frustrated me. I'm pretty sure we're gonna look back and look at some centers and be like, "Oh damn."
Centers we didn't talk about.
Right.
Has to be. But well, if Wilt is in our honorable mentions, then I'm fine with that. Because Wilt and David Robinson are going to end up being in our honorable mentions, which is not a bad thing. So, honestly, let me just go back real quick. If Jerry West is considered a 2, Clyde not making that list, dog.
Yeah, I was trying to.
Clyde not making that list.
Yeah, I was trying to throw somebody some bail because I think that you can't put. It's hard to put him.
Somebody else got to move in point guards too, because Pistol Pete is in
one. That's what I'm saying. Pistol Pete and Havlicek, one of those have to represent that era.
I don't know if Havlicek gonna make it.
Probably, maybe.
Well,
not.
if it's the 2s, he might.
It's close,
Shit,
it's close.
If it's the 2s, he might. We're gonna have to go back and look at accolades too, because he might have a good point. Figuring out who that 5th 3 is gonna be.
Nobody's got to round out the honorable mentions at the 2. He's got to round out the honorable mentions.
That might be a preference thing because you're not putting him over Vince. And Vince ain't got a ring. You're not putting him over Mac, and Mac ain't got a ring. You're not putting him over Reggie, and Reggie ain't got a ring. I'm putting Reggie over Clyde.
Yeah, man.
Hot take.
You could try to. You could try to put him ahead of some people.
I'm arguing for my favorites, and I don't think Penny is gonna make the cut at the point guard position. And I think that's disgusting, but whatever.
Yeah, there's some currents, man.
We're gonna lose. Our favorites are gonna lose in some of these lists.
Because Dwight's knocking on. It's wild seeing some of these first teams.
Dwight's an honorable mention.
The Redeem team going into the Hall of Fame is crazy. It's hard though.
Let's move on because we could expand that and eventually do eras and have fun with it too. Because Darren Williams doesn't get enough credit for just being a hooper in his day. Let's talk WrestleMania and get out of here then.
How many days now?
6.
Is it today's the 14th? Today's the 9th. Oh, today's the 13th. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm geeked. I don't know. Are you guys going?
That's the conversation that should be prevalent. And
matter of fact, let me look at tickets one more time because I was looking at some.
Basically, if I had to rank the experiences, so for one, right, there's a lot of factors. There's a lot to impact. That's why I think that question is really dope for the week of right now, because it's possible, A, to go.
Yeah.
B, I didn't go to WrestleMania at SoFi a couple years ago, and it was just kind of what did it for me was, you know what, bro, like if I had to pick one of the nights or go to both, that kind of sucks. I would almost rather go to both if I'm going to one, because I wouldn't want to experience some of it. But like, say I went to WrestleMania, but I didn't get to see Cody win the rematch. Like, what? I went to WrestleMania, but I didn't see Jay win.
You saw something. It doesn't matter. You saw one of the days,
100%. But I would feel sort of robbed about that. And just how much it's annoying, bro. It's annoying that it comes. I don't get commentary with sitting in the nosebleed.
Oh, you Oh, you not? Oh, I can't wait to have this conversation now.
But I've also went. So I'm like, okay, how do I want to experience this one?
I love the commentary.
Like, do I want to be knowing what it's like to watch it with not the best perspective or view?
Oh, this is about to be fun.
Out of pocket, walk into my seat, walk into the car with the all of that is going to be for a view that I could be like, you know what, man, I could be at home, wasted.
Oh, I'm still gonna be wasted.
Playing it as loud as I could. You know what I'm saying? Right.
I'm
Re-upping on
faded regardless.
So I'm kind of like in that boat, and I think I really want to go to Raw after the most. I want to go to Raw after for sure.
Because you're gonna get a surprise at some point.
And I think the Stand and Deliver show is on the under.
It is
like what I really want to go to as well.
All right, so here's the deal. I looked up.
Long way of saying that, yeah, I'm running from the prices from the tickets.
Well, we'll see what it ultimately ends up
ran
being.
From the press part of it too, in a sense where I could have, and I didn't want to. This date's been on the calendar for literally maybe a year now.
Yeah, and
it's like, all right, it's here finally.
The sign,
and it approaches right,
which is a fire sign, by the way. Shout out to you guys. You guys did that,
and that one's different. Like if it's basketball and you get a chance to work it or be a fan, you can't. I won't go wrong with either one. Like there is no wrong answer.
So I made the decision recently that I'm looking into going, right? And it's just a final. It's a couple of things for me.
Yeah. Do you want to always look back and say I was there?
And that's what beats every point for me. So to answer your question about I'm gonna miss commentary,
I know if I'm at 40 and the Undertaker's gong hits. Pause.
No, it's not even that.
I know if I'm present for whatever could happen that I could have been present for, and if I had to say that I wasn't present for it, I would be annoyed.
I'm pretty sure I just heard a dog in here, and I started to bring Spade, so that's why I was like, good thing I didn't bring Spade. No, you were asking about commentary. With the seats that I was looking at, I have Peacock. I will watch the show on my phone. Still, I'm in the building.
Yeah. You can't.
So my only point was the seats that I was looking at is angled to the left or to the right of the stage. Nobody has seen the set yet.
Right.
So nobody knows what this set is. So based on last year, if I'm sitting behind that big ass X, I'm pissed. I'm hot. Now I'm mad. Now I can't see anything. But I thought to myself, and similar to what Daryl just said, if I'm in the building, that's the experience, right? So I sat up there and I was like, let me go see what these tickets look like. $334 for a single ticket.
And I know Allegiant Stadium well.
Yeah, which is why I feel like the seats that I was looking at, even if it is semi behind the stage, Allegiant sits up.
Mm-hmm.
So I might be fine. The only problem that I have is the little canopy that's over the ring,
which will be there,
which may cover it. So I'm like, okay, cool.
And their screens are sort of cat a corner. They don't have a screen.
Not even that.
They don't have a screen that's in the center.
Not even that. If you go back and watch WrestleMania 40, the screens have the still shot. So it'll be Cody versus Roman, and it'll just be the still shot. So you still can't see it.
Yeah, I was there. So yeah.
So I sat there and I was like, $330. Like, essentially, can I burn $330 if I get there and the experience isn't what I wanted it to be? I said, I don't know if I'm gonna do that. I said, so I'm gonna sit back a little bit. And then the report came out that this is the lowest on track to be the lowest attended WrestleMania since WrestleMania 22 back in 06, back in Chicago.
Yeah, in terms of tickets, yeah, how much was allocated?
And I said, okay. I said, so that means you guys are gonna have to go down. I checked the tickets the other day when I was in the bar. They're down to $231.
Okay, I gotta still see it coming.
Let that shit get under $2.
All right, so that's what I also did for 39. The reason I didn't go when I saw the tickets is that I maybe might have waited too late. But I did see. I was like, oh wait, really?
The reason why I said,
do I send it? And we have a crazy story about floor seats at a Pelicans game an hour before the game that you would have to see it to believe.
Hold on, I do want you guys to tell that story, but real quick, going back to this, if it drops $50 more within this next week and it's $180, then we can get 2-day passes for the same amount that we would have got 1-day pass.
Waited a week,
2 weeks ago. So I told everybody in my family,
So you're playing the waiting
That
game right
Friday, that 18th,
And
all bets are off.
and we know that there is
I may fuck around and buy both
there is
tickets on
15% of availability out there. So it's like I got time to jump.
I'm just saying.
I feel you. This is a very real
people, reservations
playing
are
chicken. We've been playing chicken for a year.
Hey, man.
Are we going?
Yeah, we've been talking about it nonstop, and I'm like, if the price is right, get it. I'm all for. Hey, we're gonna have to go cover shifts. We're gonna have to keep working. That's not gonna stop.
Exactly.
But this experience,
I pay for
in our
experiences.
city.
Right.
Okay, this is 20 minutes away. Okay, we're watching it at home, but to be in that, be in the stadium.
Do you know what ultimately made me look at ticket
We're in the
prices?
same building as Cody. Okay.
Do you know what ultimately made me go look at prices? Did you guys go look at how much WrestleMania World is going to be?
I told her, I said what matters.
Tickets are about $90.
What I said,
if you take somebody with you, you're spending essentially
I said, yo, I said what will determine all of this is how much World is, and I didn't want to look. I was in no rush because
$89.50
because none of this accounts for the $100 I'm going to spend in t-shirts alone.
I low key want a belt, and them shits is $600. So y'all know what it is.
So it's just annoying that the before I can even get to the memories of it, I'm just already like, why am I out $1,200 before I've done anything? And that's all I can think about.
And meanwhile, I got 2 belts on my shoulders. Like, where the fuck did my money go? I could have swore I walked in.
Oh, there it is.
Word.
Right.
Now you got to buy $17 chicken tenders. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. But you want to talk about the actual event? What you're excited for? What you're not excited for? What you expect? What you don't expect?
Yeah, man. Well, the coolest thing to me is different. I was attached to the build and the stories last year more than this year. But this year, the story that's like predominant to me is it being bigger again. And it started last year, but this year feels like, okay, now people are treating this like it's kind of like Coachella. Like people, like it's a weekend that is on people's calendars now. Whether that be rappers, entertainers, people that you didn't know were wrestling fans or not. Oh, and now you got something, or you popped up at the city where it's at, or all the residual pods coming to here. It also feels different because we're here, and it's that element of the Super Bowl coming where it's like we're working, it's happening. Another weekend in Vegas, substituted with this or that, where it feels familiar already too. But that's the kind of thing for me is that this one, the reach and the stakes are. It feels momentous. It being John's last one, Roman not being a champion, and us having standalone and women's main event matches, and this one as a product as a whole, like this one as a whole, I connect with more than I'm married to one of the storylines, and I think it's going to deliver for that because there's a lot that we're going to get.
It is a lot.
And that Raw after is going to bang. I think that I still don't want to miss the Raw after.
I would have better seats, I feel like, at Raw after, but I don't know, dog, to be able to say that I was in the building for whatever happens.
Of course.
I think I might be. I might be signing up for that. We'll see. And by the way, the answer was Sunday night. I was going to Sunday, and it wasn't a question. Whatever happened on Sunday is where I was going to go.
I'm with you on the build up. The build up has just been like, okay, I'm ready. I think I'm more excited for the women. And I tell them every time we watch it, I'm like, where are their clothes at? They come on lingerie. I'm like, they're fighting. They're fighting. She's in lingerie. She's fighting. When they have jeans on, they're not fighting. But the women, I'm like, I'm here for Liv. Jade is my girl. I was so happy when she came back. I was up off the couch. I was like, she's back.
I'm gonna need certain people to get different starts to their music because it takes me a delayed 6 or 7 seconds to realize when Jade and when Cody are coming out. I hear that initial like thunder, and I'll be like, bro,
no, Def Rebel. Their music production company's been on the grill for the better part of the past year of getting some of these fine tuned a little bit. Yeah, it's y'all are hitting on the nose. I think that it's tough, man. I'm a little bummed that we're not getting. Of course, you could have gotten a lot of other things. So it is what it is. This is the card that we're going to get now. And
I mean, if you want to get to that, I think there's small details.
Yeah, the crowd sort of going to
dictate what it could be.
how we feel about it.
For
And that's
instance,
one element of wanting to go that I also want to feel like I understand, because the crowd can impact a lot. Like, remember night one? Remember everybody said Jay versus Jimmy sucked, and part of it was the cold. Was the crowd was freezing their asses off. Like it's like, okay, I don't really hate this, but I can't move my hands right now. Like,
you know what's so interesting?
But that,
you know what's
in
so
the crowd,
interesting?
you can attest to what the vibe was, and who ends up in the crowd is always different.
Because some things, respectfully speak, and granted, I haven't been to too many wrestling events, right? I've been to hundreds of, maybe even thousands of games, not wrestling events, right? I'm just. It's funny that you just brought that up. I went back and watched that match about 6 nights ago. You should do the same.
Yeah,
that match is terrible.
Oh, bro, no, I don't want to do it again.
The match is terrible. There's no other way to put it. And on top of that,
right.
I'm big on promos, probably because of my career. That is one of the better promos that I've seen in the last 10 to 15 years. That shit gives me goosebumps.
Yeah,
for them niggas to start with the I am my brother's keeper and go through the Uso, but then go about how they separated, and then the end with the I'm not my brother's keeper and the look over the shoulder. I got goosebumps now.
Me too.
Like, for that match to be as ass as it was, ask them if they want it back. I bet you both of them would say yeah.
I agree with you. But there's an so you know who's
don't
in the
take
crowd.
away from the fact that everybody was probably crying while watching the shit any damn way.
Right, but you know, some crowds don't just respond to certain. There's elements to, like, the Super Bowl crowd that was in Vegas last year, or almost any Raider game. You don't really know how the crowd's going to swing. That's what made Rock versus Hogan the classic that it was. Like when Punk, Roman, Seth happens, nobody knows what the crowd's going to do. When Cena and Cody come out, the Cena loyalists, the people like us who watched them our entire wrestling lives.
I don't know who he's talking.
I'm just loyal to in our age bracket, but I think that
I'm one of those people that he was like, oh, when I won, you booed me. You fucking right, I did. You're absolutely right.
Cena truthers are going to come out in that match
for sure,
unless they walk it very carefully. But there's going to be some, or say Cena's just out there hooping. Like, say he's out there, like, there's going to be so much detail.
And I have nothing against Cody. I just been asking for this version of Cena for too long.
There's going to be so much detail into this. And
I think Triple H drags it out too, by the way. I don't think Cena wins until around SummerSlam. But
they have to. I think
we'll see what happens.
Cody. I do think it's looking good for Cody to come out. I think he's at that ultra rare stage where
I will tell you one thing though, and I know that it happened.
Guy can win a couple.
I know it happened back in the day as well, but the one thing I am getting tired of, when you said it's like Coachella, I'm getting tired of the main event where each side has 4 guys running out for them. I'm sick of that shit. I'm good with a old school interference. I'm good with an old school. Oh, he hit him when the ref wasn't looking.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I got Dean Ambrose on my side. Great. Okay, I got Solo on my side. Okay, great. Now I'm bringing out Cesaro. Now I'm naming all of these older wrestlers for a reason, but it be random ass people. You be looking like, respectfully. If I was in a building, I would have been happy as hell.
I know what you mean, though.
But to see Taker last year had me like,
well,
what is happening right now?
I love. Even in the madness and as much as some people will be frustrated or annoyed by it or just felt like it was random, I love it. It was a work of art. And
I mean,
if it clicks,
I love it for the moment. I don't love it for the story. We ain't seen Taker since.
It didn't have to.
Even if it was Austin, we still wouldn't have had a correlation.
That one was separate. That one was the checks and balances coming back for Roman for thinking you're bigger than this.
I don't think it was. I think it was WrestleMania 40, and we want to show all of our niggas' faces. That's what it is.
Well, also,
look, Austin wasn't available, so Taker, can you do us the solid?
Yeah.
I think it also, but it still fits though because Roman sent Taker home at WrestleMania as well.
I'm with it,
and he called it his yard, and it's not
Taker also said it was his too.
And yeah, and it's not that. What's deep? What's cool? Hey, maybe it is or not, but the Samoan bloodline lineage does go to the infancy of wrestling.
It does.
So to just pull anything because this dude's trying to say that he's the heir to the throne above all of this. No, you are not bigger than the whole. We are calling into the whole of everything, and it's WrestleMania. That's Undertaker stage, the whole 9. So I like that I hear the question in the debate kind of there.
What were you were saying?
Everybody doesn't need. Yeah, we can't just get some Brock versus Kurtz again. How
It's
we
just,
got just.
can we get a regular
Let me
match?
let me
dog,
see
at some
two of
point?
y'all go out there and lose it.
I
Like
agree.
That's the lack in writing. It's okay to have a regular match.
When we watch it, he can attest to this. Every time someone with a black hoodie ran, I'm like, I'm like,
I'm over
why?
it.
And then we see who it is, and I'm like, if Solo comes out, if it's the brothers one more time, if it's Jacob, I'm done. Like, I'm over it. And then it's like, okay.
Don't tell me Tonga Loa coming back from injury. I don't want to hear that
What's
shit.
his tone? What was it?
I don't remember what it was.
He's been gone for a minute. We haven't seen him. But where I'm like, they would do something like that.
ending that title reign merited something from complete left field, so I'm not mad at it.
No.
Yeah.
You had to do something significant because of the reign. I'm not even mad at last year's. I only use it as a reference point because you did it, as Whitney just said, for 4 years with the Bloodline.
Mm-hmm.
Every fucking pay-per-view, I was
That
like,
had to be about it, right?
Like,
right.
and honestly, if you didn't overdo it, the times that it should have held weight would have held more weight. When Jimmy did that shit to Jay, I was like, you got me.
Yeah.
It did create a few of those jaded characters though. Like Drew isn't Drew today without the Bloodline feud. KO.
Oh no, you need the
wasn't
feud.
KO
It's
today.
Just, I guess you're
Sammy
right.
wasn't like it made these characters
picking who you want to give it to.
Legit.
Remember, the NWO went left because they kept adding niggas like Scott Steiner and Buff Bagwell, and now it's like
it existing
Hogan
allows Sting to become okay. Sting, please, Sting. Or Goldberg. Okay, for right now, all right, cool. We're in it because we need something to sort of go against it at the same time. No, this year there's stories that are it's a rebuilding what the deck is right now. Like I think LA Knight versus Jacob Fatu is a match that
I like the new name.
Represents the new blood.
Yeah.
Sort of, that they want to.
And shining the light on the wrestlers, the men and
women
who have been putting in that time.
And Logan beating AJ is doing the same thing.
And the Intercontinental 4-Way, man, as somebody who
they dropped the ball.
As somebody who was watching,
they dropped the ball on
Pensacon Jr. next to Vampiro and Lucha Underground in college.
You're gonna be mad. I think they dropped the ball on the Intercontinental title match.
No, man, it depends on still what happens, but I'm with it for the. I'm with.
You don't even know why I said they dropped it.
I hear you. In part of the,
I said they dropped the ball. He was like, "You're wrong." You don't even know why I said it.
Moving on.
Right.
Actually, no. Do you know? There's a clear reason, in my opinion, why they didn't. What I personally would do. Do you remember WrestleMania 31? Wade Barrett entered as the Intercontinental Champion.
Ladder match.
That 6-man ladder match. That became a staple. First of all, the Money in the Bank was the staple at WrestleMania.
I know.
It became so big. You gave it its own pay-per-view. You could argue
it needs it back. But
no,
go ahead.
Give it its pay-per-view.
Right.
Let it have it.
Worked. It's clearly worked. That's one pay-per-view.
But every WrestleMania, I shouldn't say every WrestleMania, every certain, let's say every 4 or 5,
the rarity
we should see a time when you can do it. And the problem is, if you go back to WrestleMania 31, like I just mentioned, some of the names that was in there, you feel like maybe this is just a space filler. Where the fuck is Sheamus?
I know.
They said Sheamus was chasing the Intercontinental title, and then we just haven't seen him.
Yeah.
So if you add Sheamus, you could add who else you want to add? You could add Carlito just to add another space filler and make it 3 people from the Judgment Day. How about you go and add somebody else from the LWO? How about you add Dragon Lee? How about you can make that a 6-man ladder match. The only problem I have with it is time. Ladder matches that are under 25 minutes make no sense to me.
Yeah.
It's pointless. Let alone 6 people.
Not that easy. Yeah.
Everybody's going to get one moment, match is over. And that's just what it is.
We've seen those. Right.
So for me to put a bow on it real quick, I'll let you guys react to all of it at the end of it. I'm not going to react to every match, but I'll give you guys just where my brain is. I think Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre put on probably the match of night 2. And it's not going to be the match of night 2. It's going to be an underrated match. That's one thing that I have. I do have Jacob Fatu winning. A lot of people said that LA Knight is probably going to retain. I have Jacob getting the title earlier.
Back on him because it's easier to come off of him. And no other Bloodline member has won the U.S. title besides Roman. And it puts Jacob on the path of we do consider him a world title. he's hitting plateau. He's hitting marks that Jacob Solo didn't necessarily hit.
So I do have a couple of them. Let me I'm gonna go through it bullet points, and then I'm gonna let you guys probably do the same. Only because I'm gonna forget these damn points. I don't want to look at the match card. I'm trying my best not to look. I think Dominic Mysterio wins. That's why I thought the ladder match would have been more important.
Sorry.
I think Dom wins. I like that reaction.
Ready, man. That boy's ready.
I like that reaction. That reaction is why I do it.
But
I think Dom.
I can get that too, but I'm like.
I think Dom ends up winning. I think Jacob Fatu wins. I think the world. I think the women's world title match is the match of WrestleMania. I think Io retains.
We're gonna have to talk about why they're booing Bianca Belair, and that conversation is happening
because that heel turn is impending.
But
I was talking about that. They haven't.
We should just keep it almost kayfabe or keep it straight, and just say that sure the crowd is now wondering why something about what Bianca's doing is making the crowd react that way, but there isn't anything that she's doing that's making them respond that way.
It's a little bit of the John Cena
other
effect,
than just fatigue.
But that heel turn is coming.
But I want to see it with her and Montez happen if they do it so bad.
Again, we'll see how it goes, but that's just kind of like the things that come to mind. I already said it. I think Logan Paul beats AJ Styles, and I think he comes back Monday. He's gonna have another title shot very, very soon. So yeah. I don't think Jay wins.
I know.
I think that becomes Jay's thing.
Just where they're going with it right now. Even what episode was that? Where Jimmy's talking to him and he's on the stairs and his hands in his head, and I'm just like, he is already in his head. I don't see him coming out of that, and just how savage Gunther is. Like, I loathe that he always kind of wins by submission. I'm like, oh, that's just like
it takes away from his character a little bit.
And I'm like, the way I would, but I was like, I don't see them giving to him at all. I don't. Just like he even made it here.
He's gonna have an upward climb. Similar. I'm trying to think about another situation where it happened.
He's in the Jeff Hardy spot.
No. That's exactly what it is. But I'm talking about the match. Like I remember when.
Well, it's annoying because we saw.
I don't think it was Ray per se, but when Brock, for instance, his first run in the WWE, when Brock became a bad guy, when he was beefing with the Undertaker, like in 03, 04, there were plenty of times where obviously Sami Zayn fits the bill now, where somebody has all the emotional support behind him. Hardcore Holly, when he broke Hardcore Holly's neck. Hardcore Holly came back at Royal Rumble, or came back to WrestleMania at Royal Rumble 2004, had all the energy behind him, was taking it to Brock. Nowhere in your mind did you feel like he's going to beat Brock. And I feel like it's similar to this Jay situation. He's going to go in there. We're going to see Jay do a bunch of shit that we've never seen Jay do. Jay's still going to lose. Yeah. And that's ultimately, like I said before, I think that's ultimately what his storyline will become. Obviously.
I don't see it being fast.
Not at all. Y'all think we get a squash match? At all? We better not get one. We only got 13 matches.
Jay's winning.
Ooh.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
They're in one of the rare. This is the first. They love to make us forget that they showed us their hand from the jump.
They usually do.
And this Jay cash in. I don't know. That's my gut right now, but I'm about even as where I am with Cody winning. Even though you can make the case that John will. I'm about the same conviction level that I think that Jay wins, because I think that maybe if not a little bit more, but I hated Gunther being put in the same spot that he was in last year.
Gunther got to do something different.
I hated that because that's not his fault. That's the story that y'all.
No, it is his fault. It is his fault.
Sort of
piss me off. You gonna piss me off?
Yes, because the character isn't a different character than what we saw last year. So that's true. And what is the range here? But I still put it on the writing team to come up with a different way to maybe have presented it. But I think this is the Jay story that he was the first person to pin Roman after Roman went on the Paul Heyman arc and never came down from.
That's my hot take.
Jay was the first one to pin him, and it was a tag match.
It's not even a hot take no more.
I think this one. I think that the celebration ceremony will be one of the most little organic ones. I think
Unfortunately, about 7 years from now.
But I understand that it's a 50-50 because they could just be waiting to break our hearts on 100%. I feel it. I feel it. I think that they.
I got two questions for you.
Because also there's so many ways that you can go after Jay possibly wins it.
And you have a million more if he doesn't.
Exactly.
That's my point. But you can't. You will have a hard time getting him back to the world title picture, though.
No, you wouldn't.
You can try, but you won't. You won't get me beyond a certain excitement level to where it'll be where
King of the Ring is another way. Elimination Chamber is another way. Money in the Bank is another way. There's a bunch of different ways.
Going. Money in the Bank's the most likely one.
There's a million different ways.
But you start to wear me down on, all right, now new things that I'm going to want to see, but y'all are keeping Jay around, and you mix what the reception to it might be. This will be universal.
Like when he lost the belt, like it was like, oh.
Let me ask you two questions. Kind of the same about different wrestlers. Because it took them both forever to do it. How long? Hold on. How long was Jeff Hardy's title reign? How long was RVD's title reign?
I got I know it. Neither of them went longer than the pay-per-view. That happened to Jay. That happened to Jay.
For that.
Yeah.
There's a reason for that. I don't think that they put. Once we do it, we can't undo it. So, for instance, I remember sitting watching Elimination Chamber, and even now. First of all, I'm happy that the WWE now
I rewatched the Jeff story recently, man. That's it's
an amazing story.
It was cool, but it's so frustrated that it only lasted that long.
I'm happy that people went and watched. Actually, hold on. So I'm trying to figure out the point that I was trying to make before you mentioned Jeff Hardy.
Well, they might,
what was
the downside of putting it on them. What you're left to do.
Once you do it, you can't undo it. If he loses at WrestleMania, it's not like people are gonna sit back and look at him and say, we don't want to see him with the title. It's just gonna make you want it more. I remember sitting back watching Elimination Chamber, and like I said, I'm happy that the WWE isn't ignoring the internet like they tried to do when the internet first came around, which was a mistake. But I do get mad when I see spoilers sometime now. Even though the internet is a part of it, I understand that spoilers are right. So I remember scrolling by and them saying, hey, a Cena or a Cody heel turn is coming up. And I was like, fuck, I shouldn't have seen it. I already felt like a Cody heel turn was coming, whatever the case may be. I felt like they wasn't going to give us the Cena heel turn because we're a year in. I mean, we have his last year. So were you going to do it now? The fact that they did that, the first thing that went through my mind was, damn, this Cody Hill turn is like 3 years out. Now we've slow walked the dog. Why am I to think that they are going to do anything different with Jay? Oh, y'all want a belt on him? Guess the last thing I'm going to do? Put a fucking belt on him. Matter of fact, I'm going to give him an Intercontinental title, and then he's going to lose it.
He did it, yeah.
It pissed everybody off initially. Why would I give him the world title this year?
I was upset.
Most people were.
I was upset.
Most people were.
He just got it. I was like, had it for like 2 minutes.
So most people, I feel like you can't. Again, it's long-term storytelling. You kind of just said it a second ago. They're showing their hand, like they show their hands at certain moments. That's because the previous era. I don't know how long you've been watching wrestling. I know you have. The previous era. The shirt's not on now, but the previous era, you would kind of look at certain things and be like,
"He gonna get his time."
Do they think that we don't know what happened 3 months ago? We saw that, and they would just act like they just didn't do it. Now I feel like they're a little more methodical in the sense of, like you said before, they're not going to just give Jay the title because now they're like, shit, we can't undo it now.
But do you not think that you might be just trying to like not allow yourself to want it to happen?
Me?
You think that is some of that?
I actually feel like I want it to happen, which is why it's not going to happen.
But is that do you think that that's really factoring into your gut feeling? Because I don't think that you don't personally. I don't know. Like you just don't want to see Jay win. I think you say that from a hey, put me in the behind the scenes. What finish would I?
You're probably right.
Throw out there.
You're probably right. You're probably right.
I'm trying to let myself almost kind of like,
right.
You know what, man? No.
Which is why I don't watch movies. By the way, to double that
sucks,
back,
right?
I'm a writer, so I feel like I'm trying to write the movie as I'm watching, and I can't enjoy it. So usually, if it's a scary movie, I'm not trying to write a horror film, or if it's like one of those blockbuster movies,
you don't want to work yourself
for a reason, right?
Yeah,
my thing is being able to predict something.
Right.
I loathe predicting things. Like if I'm right, I'm like, that was awful. Like why we knew she was going in there. I knew he was gonna die.
And I always say, if I
love to
predict
be
it,
surprised.
if I can predict it,
Yeah,
I
it's
always
not
say it's a
good.
bad movie. Because
Same,
I'm not a
same.
writer. Like I don't direct movies. I don't write movies. So if I predict it, I'll be like, that shit was weak.
Yep. I'm like, from movies to books to shows, I'm like, no. If I know it's
It was a
gonna
movie
happen.
recently that had me on the edge of my seat, and I was like, it was a scary movie, and I was like, okay, this is gonna happen. This is gonna happen. This is gonna happen. And at the end, I was like,
yeah,
okay.
And I'm like, respect.
All right.
You
I was
got
like,
me.
you got me.
Yeah, you got me.
None of the above.
Yeah.
What the fuck
that
was the movie, dog? What was the
better.
movie? I cannot think of the movie. When it comes to me, I'm gonna probably text y'all and be like, oh, it was this. It was a movie recent. It wasn't Smile, but it was another movie recently that I was watching, and I was like,
he said Smile. He said see both of them. He was like, those were so.
you haven't seen them?
No, because
you're
it
crazy.
creeps me out.
The Smile is creepy.
It
You will walk
creeps
out
me
that theater to somebody to smile. That
That's
shit,
what
stop.
I'm saying.
That shit right there, knock it off.
And I'm a dreamer. I have the most vivid
Ooh.
dreams. I will go into 4 different dreams and then wake up and still go back to sleep into that.
I don't feel like I remember my dreams.
Me too. Yeah, I'm a
that's
dreamer.
By the way, can y'all
Vivid.
figure out the non-wrestling fan in the room? Just want to see if y'all can figure it out.
Oh,
Yeah. Tried to stay awake really hard.
Welcome back.
I'm glad to have you.
I do have one last hot take. My hot take was a month ago, so it was fucking steaming hot. Now it's no longer hot. But I was feeling like Paul hasn't forgotten that Roman left him. So I feel like that writing is already on the wall.
Yeah, yeah.
I also think, because I'm trying to figure out how do you write it in, so you're probably right. I'm trying to figure out how do you write it in, but I also don't think Paul is okay with the fact that, fucker, you left for 13 years. Talking about Punk.
All signs pointing to.
Wait, hold on. Wait, let me make this last point. Because of that, the agreement was me walking you down. I think the hot take, and I think the moment of the weekend is Paul and Seth are about to be a thing.
Yeah.
They're about to make Paul Heyman the greatest manager of all time.
I mean, well, Seth also benefits, and think about it, man.
I love Seth.
Yeah, and then incoming Seth title run.
They've said what, you know, that when did Seth lock in? You know, when did he there was a handshake at some point with him and Triple H for the amount of losses that he has taken.
That's a fact. That's a great point.
Look, man, you were going to get your just due the same way that when the Shield broke up, nobody predicted that Seth would be the champion first.
Wait,
and
but hold
Seth
on.
Literally,
I'm gonna throw a question back at you that you've been watching wrestling long enough to know. I don't know if that handshake agreement happens.
Well,
sometimes, nigga, you're the one that loses 7 times at WrestleMania.
Right? No,
Sean is Mr. WrestleMania. I looked up his record one day and was like,
he be putting them over. Yeah, he's been looking at the lights, but yeah,
I shouldn't say he's my favorite wrestler out loud no more.
The match was still the card though.
Word. I think he is.
Has been putting in. He's been taking the hits. He's been gone. He's been back.
He stands to gain the most out of.
I don't think he properly takes his injury times. He left after WrestleMania with the back injury, and he was back. I feel like quicker than he should have been.
Carried both nights on that card. Carried maybe it could be.
What's not talked about? He didn't carry both nights. He carried the first night, and then the second one he opened. I keep going back to the fact of
but he also closed.
That's about 10 hours apart. Fuck y'all, bro. Yes, I'm taking 6 months.
And he also right.
And then you want me to come back and fight Boston Reed? Fuck y'all.
Not even that, man. He went out there on one leg.
Yeah, y'all
and still was the card that ended the match for Roman. He was still the one that broke Roman. It wasn't Taker. It was Seth with the chair that triggered. You know what I'm saying? So
that was a beautiful story. Right?
And in the year when Triple H is going into the Hall of Fame, he has who was Triple H's last WrestleMania match against? If it wasn't, it might have been Batista.
Was it Batista?
He was one-on-one.
You're right.
He was one-on-one with Seth the year Seth came back from knee injury as well. On some look, you think you're the student, and I am the game at the same time. Where he sort of Triple H kind of passed his spirit in what he was in the company to Seth. To where look, you might not be Stone Cold or The Rock, to where you're just the number one public recognition. But if you go any deeper than that, they will say that, okay, well, this person is the one that checks every box and has checked every box for the last, 10 years or so. So Seth has earned it, possibly. And the story, I think that you can go so many different directions with Punk and Roman still. That we're
going to get all of those individual matches still. Yeah. We already got Punk and Seth, but did we get both Seth? Yeah, we did. We're still gonna get those individual matches. We're still gonna get all of those.
Tiffany Charlotte has like kind of stolen the show for me. It's a little it's a little trashy. It's a little rough around the
honestly
edges, in a way.
The
but
fact that it was real life dirt getting is what's gonna make me care. I didn't care before.
And this is the other element of it though. I was a Tiffany. I put Tiffany Stratton on to a handful of friends of just like when she was in NXT still before any gimmick was solidified. Of like, look, right? No, I feel it. The part that I can't wait to see and why the story has gotten me to this point is Tiff can really grab. She can really grab. She can wrestle. She is not scared. She kind of throws herself out there like almost like recklessly. She has that cheerleader like toss herself around. Like I don't care what happens to my body element.
That's funny.
Her Elimination Chamber showing in Australia last year was super dope.
Fire.
Now that they really have what I can't imagine is not some real life bad blood there, and we've seen Charlotte have bangers with Rhea and
everybody
fuse that border on reality. So I want to see them really go out there, not like each other, lay some stuff in, and maybe have a match that like goes because it might be some of the.
It might be one of the underrated matches. I said Drew and Damian, and that was a match that I didn't give a fuck about at all. But recently, I was like, that might actually be one of those.
And I think I'm with you on that, where I'm going to be like, oh.
Well, because Daryl made the best point. They can wrestle. Both of them can really wrestle. We talked about Jimmy and Jay, and I think both. Well, if I'm gonna call a spade, I think Jimmy can wrestle, and I think Jay got some shit to do. But it just, I don't think it's a hot take. I think it's just. But you know what's funny? And I like the fact that they're writing obviously real life into it. When Cody said that you can say whatever you want, but these people have never chanted. I can't wrestle. We understand that it's obviously the writing is the writing, right? That shit hurt a little bit. That shit hurt a little bit when you do that shit for a living. But to his defense, Cena got better in his latter years. I'm not saying that Jay can't, but it's only so many super kicks you could throw in a fucking match, bro.
This was my other wild card element of what do you think this means for the match this week? But there's a certain somebody, and which y'all will know the answer to in 20 seconds.
I'm just waiting for Zilla to show.
There's somebody that's doing a press run this week. He'll be at the station on Wednesday, and he's in that match. Which one do y'all think it is?
I would think Cody, right?
No.
Cody
in the World Heavyweight Championship match. I think you already know the answer.
Oh, Jay's doing it?
You already. Gunther's doing it.
Is he?
And it's. Yeah. He'll probably be doing the rounds, and it kind of makes you. It's kind of like they're not going to have the more popular person do it, and it could. I don't know. So you already know that I'm trying to ride for Team J, as the winner.
It sounds a lot like this is our world champion, and we're gonna make y'all get used to this, man.
So trust me, I believe that Gunther 100% might win because yes, that's what that is like. That's what that suggests is we need to continue making sure that y'all know his name as much as y'all know a couple of the other names that we have. But also that could happen win or lose. Like let's literally Gunther, let's go put you in the streets because Jay's already out here in the streets. So when you don't have the belt, we don't want people to forget about why you were like that because we're making you lose now 2 years in a row at Mania, possibly.
But that is what I do think is interesting. Gunther could lose last year at WrestleMania. He could lose this year at WrestleMania. Both ending pretty decent reigns. I do think that could be an angle. Like I said before, I think it just ultimately boils down to we have more chips on our side of the table if we don't do it yet, especially if we know that it's coming. Because there was a point in time where I'm pretty sure, like I said, you was watching back then. There was a point in time where we really thought Jeff wasn't going to do it.
Oh, for sure.
So,
and that's what the
right, same thing with RVD.
That's sort of the dark side of the Triple H booking is that look, like I said, what's honestly the pitch count on John Cena matches in this last run. Because it's less for us to have ideas of all these stories. Bro might wrestle 5 times. How many stories are you telling?
Over under 6.5. I got
how many stories are you telling in 4 matches?
y'all. But you
so
said
we're not going to get. So it delays.
I have a caveat too to what you said.
Opportunities for so many of these people. So like, if we think Jacob has to get there, if we think LA Knight needs to graduate into the world title picture again, if we think that Logan Paul needs to enter that conversation, if we want guys like Finn Balor to even be, or just other names. Well, look, we get 2 to 3 title changes a year now.
Yeah, which
I want to see that change for a little bit.
I agree.
For the sake of having some fun and each one, mix it up every now and then. But
I mean, I'm not mad at that. I think it'll ultimately end up happening. Again, like I said, we'll see. Excuse me. I'm not mad at them taking this angle, considering I watched Triple H win 10 world titles in about a 5 or 6 year span, and I was, as one of my favorite wrestlers, I was like, all right now. This is what made me ultimately not like Cena. So, again, like I said before, I do think it's brilliant writing. I think that obviously at the end of the day, they got us kind of wrapped in. We're all trying to figure out what's next.
Get well, KO, man.
Yeah, man. Get well soon to Kevin Owens. I have said it before. I said this was actually the night of the Elimination Chamber. I said.
He does not.
I said the night of the Elimination Chamber that KO was the MVP of the year, 2 PLEs in. Anybody that disagrees after seeing that ladder match and seeing that damn street fight or that unsanctioned match with Sammy, I don't know that you could point to 2 better performances this year already. Like, both of those performances are insane.
I would give him that. I think they really did a good job on us hating him and not liking him, because I was like, let him touch somebody else I like again.
Like, please leave them alone. Like, Randy was out. I said, and then when he did to Cody, I was hurt. I was like, okay, he's doing too much. How is he getting away with this? He took his belt. The disrespect. It needs to stop. And then with Sammy, I said, I'm done. They're just gonna let this man do whatever he wants.
I'm waiting for that Sammy Hill turn.
Doing whatever he wants bothers me already. So the fact
this is my hot take.
Poor Sammy. He's gonna snap.
No.
His bun is tight. Okay.
The snap is coming soon.
Y'all putting way too much on Sammy.
No, so how do you feel that? This is what I'm gonna say.
It's gonna break everybody's hearts when he does.
It's gonna break yours because he's doing it on Saturday.
Oh, brother.
I need you to. They showed their hand. Remember when?
Wait a second. He doesn't rob Jay, does he?
Remember when? Remember at the Rumble. Remember at the Rumble when?
Didn't Jay eliminated him?
Remember at the Rumble when Jay almost got tossed out and Sammy saved him.
Yes.
And then Jay eliminated him. The next night, Karrion Kross was talking to him and was like, "Gee, I need a friend like you. Like, you're always so happy for your friends, and it's never you." Yeah. And remember when he was like, "Are you happy for Jay?"
Yeah.
Remember he hesitated and he was like, "Yeah, I'm happy for Jay."
They were focusing very well on Sammy. If you were paying attention,
who's the one person that ain't got a match at WrestleMania?
Because he kept showing
one of the few people that don't.
He kept showing up on every show, Raw or SmackDown. You just like, what show is Sammy on? I don't know. He showed up with a Bloodline shirt. He showed up with his shirt. He showed up with a jacket. He just be in the back. Yeah. I don't know. And every time he came out to talk to somebody, remember, he would get distracted. He would approach Dom Mysterio. He would approach somebody else, and then somebody else came in. And he's like, you know what, Nick? All this, I came here for this. Now I'm gonna get to this. They were derailing him from getting to what he wanted to get to so many times, and him fighting other people's battles, that he is gonna. And he's gonna be like, you know what, Jay? No, you can't do what I did last year. I beat Gunther.
And not even that. You're not winning a world title before I am, fucker. I'm dead ass. The way that he looked at Jay when he eliminated him, I said it on the night of Royal Rumble. I was like, oh well, if Jay wins, he won't. The reason why I didn't give it no thought because I didn't think Jay would.
They were telling the Sammy stress angle very well, and you had to pay attention to it. But they intentionally didn't pay it off in any way and killed him on camera for us to forget about him for a minute.
Absolutely.
So that way, whatever he does when he does reappear,
he's gonna run out there and they're gonna be like, "Oh, Sammy's here," and he's 100%. Not here for what y'all think for.
Exactly.
Sammy and KO have been the MVPs of Mania for the last 3 years.
That's a good point.
And they're not entering this WrestleMania without
more KO love.
Sammy.
Yeah.
Sammy isn't on the card, But we should know for a fact
He's
he is not a part of the plans for this Mania.
He'll be there.
Literally, Knoxville. The year they main evented with each
They
other,
never did that.
And then the year,
whatever.
But he made something out of it.
They should have never did that shit.
He made something.
That was bad. I'd rather watch Bad Bunny wrestle.
But or not even that, but KO and Stone Cold that year as well. Like these guys have shown their worth at Mania, especially. Oh, you know what sucks, bro, is that KO does these KO Mania shirts every year.
He still should do one. He still should fucking do one. KO is one of those for me.
Oh,
that's fucking hilarious.
The KO Mania shirt.
They've been cold. First of all, KO.
The fact that he got it over by himself, period.
It's not even just the KO Mania shirt. It's
the first one
everything he does
with one like it. And I've got myself to that point.
I appreciate people that understand the history of whatever game they're in, and KO understands the history of his game. For him to come out at the Elimination Chamber, as soon as I saw red and purple, I was like, I know he didn't take the old school ECW like colorway. And when he came out with the red and purple, I was like, in an unsanctioned match, I said, this is a sick human being. Just this again, storytelling comes, which is why I said what I said about Gunther. To a certain degree, when you was like, it's not his fault, it's the right. You got to make the character pop, dog.
I think that's the story, though, man. I think
either you're James Bond or you're the Terminator. Pick one.
I mean, right.
Either you're the smooth assassin, dog, or fucking
right. Because it's
go be Vitaly Klitschko and don't talk.
It's very borderline. Cesaro didn't work.
It didn't.
So
Sheamus didn't work until he talked. Yeah. And then you realize, oh, Sheamus is good on the microphone. And then you realize, why did y'all have him not talking for 3 months?
Yeah. And
you put a world title on him before we heard him fucking speak.
And the stable's gone now. This has not been about Imperium the whole way. So I don't want Ludwig.
Ludwig is doing this shit by himself.
I know. Ludwig's good too.
That's the sixth person for the fucking ladder match.
Yeah.
That's the one.
That is what it could have been.
Ludwig. Ludwig about to be a champion too soon.
Ludwig like that.
Tiff and him are together. I love
it. Makes a lot of sense.
I love like the
it makes a lot of sense.
What I said, why am I not shocked?
Makes a grip of sense. Just like Montez and Bianca. You hear it and you be like, oh.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
And I was like, I know, I love the love inside.
I don't think
that's it, man. I mean,
I have anything else.
Forward to it, bro. That's about it. I'm ready to go be a fan for a week.
Yeah, man. I'm excited.
Hey, he a fan.
I'm convinced I'll be in the building. At the very least for Sunday. We'll see what happens.
Same, dude. Same. It's like we can't rob ourselves of it, honestly.
I may end up doing it.
We almost can't.
And the thing is, too, this is where privilege comes in a little bit. I had a conversation with my dad. It's at Allegiant. Respectfully speaking,
we know people.
I work at Elite, bro. It might not matter where my seat is. We'll see what happens.
No, that's kind of where when I was, thought about applying, I was like, all right, do I even want to like be there with a backpack fake? Like, of course.
I mean, well, I still would get some shit done.
Yeah.
I still would obviously, be able to enjoy being a fan.
You know what, bro? I'm looking forward to the Final Four when it comes here.
Oh, yeah.
That's gonna be really dope.
Vegas has a lot of events coming up that I think are about to be super duper dope. Formula One is obviously continuing to set the stage. But yeah, man, we got a lot of stuff coming. The Super Bowl showed what Allegiant can do a little bit.
And who's the boy in Oakland or in Sac right now that's going hilarious. Up for these boys might have a baseball team.
No. Nick Kurtz looks good for the Aviators. The Aviators with a big series win out in El Paso. We will talk about it tomorrow on the radio show. This should drop on Wednesday, so this should drop right before WrestleMania. So you guys should be able to get some of our hot takes and some of our predictions and just some of our analysis before the biggest 2 nights of the year. I don't think I have anything else. Caprice has been checked out for the last hour or so since he's been mentioning wrestling. Caprice, you got anything else?
No, God bless. Church had a great sermon today, so everybody thank Jesus and get ready for Easter Sunday.
Word. Next Sunday is 420, so go praise the Lord and then but if you guys don't have anything else, we can get out of here, man. Until next time, y'all. Episode 71 of the OD.
When the lights shut off and it's my turn to settle down.